everybody. I wonder if people get tired of that. I wonder if people hit the play button, or they just immediately skip forward 5 seconds. They're just like, oh, okay, he's talking. He's not doing that thing. Well, guess what? Hey, everybody, welcome back. I did it again to the RageSelect podcast right here on RageSelect. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mike.
It's been like 600 podcasts, so it's like I gotta come up with something.
Have we done that many?
I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I know we passed 500 and something last time.
Let's see. The last episode was episode 612.
612. So this is 613.
This is 613. I felt bad because we did it was podcast 600, and I was like, oh, should I do something for it? And it was like, I forgot that it was even a thing. So
didn't you get somebody specific for it?
Me? Well, actually, hold on. Maybe who'd I get? No, it was you. It was just you.
Me.
It was just you
Okay.
and me. So
I could have sworn we were. I think you were talking about the idea, and then you were like, "It's too late. I don't have time to ask Jason to do this number 600."
Yeah. What was 600? 600 was just Summer Games Fest.
Yeah, it was Summer Game Fest.
Summer Games Fest. So
It was a bunch of. That's one of the reasons we didn't do anything. It's just a bunch of random shit.
Yeah, we had Summer Games Fest to go. Anyway, we have no such luck as Summer Games Fest this week. We got the potpourri, we got the cornucopia, we got the mixed nuts of gaming news.
Yes,
some weird shit going down this week. But before we get to that, Michael, I'm really excited because they put a movie on streaming that I've been wanting to watch for a long time.
Okay.
They put Weapons on streaming last week.
Okay.
So I finally got a chance to watch Weapons because I was like, gosh, I could watch it in the theater. I don't know. I really liked Barbarian, like yada, yada, yada. No, I didn't.
I heard it was a good movie to watch with an audience, though, at the time, because of the insanity of it.
I can see. Well, it's actually, what's funny about it is that it's got some insanity to it, but it's a relatively quieter movie than I think Barbarian. Barbarian had like a big monster in it, right?
That's true.
Like,
yeah. It's mostly the ending that I hear, but I'm not going to say why.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was some definite stuff that happens. I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but you guys won't believe things happen at the end of that movie. The end of the movie, things happen. And I was like, wow, what a concept. Usually they put it all in the middle, and then the end is just, really boring. But, this time.
That actually happens in a few movies like that.
That Zach Kreger, boy, he's got some ideas. No, it was good. I'm a big fan, as you know, of, like, originality, right? And it was a really original story. I didn't realize that it was, like, it's kind of like a Rashomon thing where it's, like, segments told from different people's perspectives that kind of all overlap a little bit.
Yeah, it's all different perspectives, and they all meet in they all meet in a very specific spot.
Yeah, they kind of converge in a few different places. It was good. It was slow at first. Like, it's definitely not like a slam bang. It's not Terrifier 4 or anything.
Because it's like you're restarting sequences. Yeah, it's like playing Resident Evil 2, where you're just like, well, now I got this from Claire's perspective,
right?
Type of thing.
I don't know. It's weird because I think I probably have some thoughts about the things that happened in the movie, but I don't want to like spoil it, right? Because I got all the way to the VOD release without it getting spoiled for me.
I know. Here's the thing. I never even saw the movie, but I know like everything that's happened in the movie.
Oh, really?
Because the problem is that everybody on Twitter and even my Facebook feed was just like, hey, how like it'll give you like threads, recommendations. One of them was like, here's the ending of the movie, and I'm like, well, fuck you guys. Like I kind of was interested to see what happened. They're like I'm just gonna explain it in detail, and I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah, I think I managed to nip the algorithm in the bud pretty early because I started muting anytime anything said the word like weapons in it.
Okay.
So I was just like, don't show me that. Do not recommend channel. Like,
I got really lucky with Death Stranding 2 that since I didn't start listening to the soundtrack until after I was done, that YouTube gave me nothing until the second I started listening to music. It's like, here's all of the boss battles. Yeah, I'm like, oh, thank God.
But no, it was good. It was definitely worth watching. I think that it's funny because it's like the sophomore efforts from we had Bring Her Back earlier this year, and then Weapons. So that was like the. What's the brothers guy?
I forgot their names. I only know them as the people who got into fights with Cookie Monster.
Right. So it was like both of their sophomore efforts. I think that
they're both like really well received.
Yes, I think that Bring Her Back was the Philippou, Danny and Michael Philippou. I think that Weapons is probably more of a crowd pleaser. Like, I think that when Bring Her Back came out, there was a lot of kind of similar like marketing, like from the person who did Let Me In or whatever it was called.
Call or whatever. I forgot the name of it was.
The first
it was the hands thing.
Yeah.
The hand call me or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah. And so I think that this one is probably a little bit more like that one took a swing.
Talk to me.
Talk to me. Yeah,
that was close.
That one Bring Her Back took a bigger swing, and it was a harder watch. It was like there was a lot of like really unpleasant stuff happening in there.
Yes, that was one of the things I heard about that one specifically.
But Weapons, I don't know. Like the thing about Weapons is that Weapons does revolve a lot around like children. And I sometimes have issues with things that revolve too hard around children because I don't have them. So it's like, well, that seems like a big bummer. Everybody's like wailing and dashing, and I'm just like, yeah, this is why I don't have children. I don't have to worry about where they are or what they're doing or any kind of.
Do you know where your children are?
Like, yes, I do. Nowhere. But it was good. It was worth a watch. It was compelling. I realized when I was watching it that like when I'm watching a movie, I'll pause it a lot and go smoke. And then I realized that it was like an hour and 12 minutes in before I was like, wait a minute. I haven't paused this movie at all. But no, it's really good. I think it's well worth a watch. I don't know if I would go with the $20 like buy this on VOD thing, but I definitely think it would be worth a $10 rental if you've been interested in it, and if not, like catch it on a streaming
it's gonna
service
take
type
a bit
of thing.
because nowadays when something comes on VOD, renting it's like $5 cheaper than buying it.
Yeah, it's like $20 to rent, $25 to buy type of thing.
Yeah, why I ended up buying Superman right away.
Yeah,
because I'm like, well, I want to watch Superman again, so I'm just gonna. But I also know I'm gonna rewatch this like a billion times. I'm still gonna get the physical eventually, but I'm like I'm in that weird moment now with Nobody 2 because I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to buy Nobody 2, but it's like $5 more.
I watched Nobody 2 last week, and I think that, like, how much did you like Nobody 1?
I like Nobody 1 a lot, but I don't own Nobody 1. So it would be weird for me to own Nobody 2, but not Nobody 1.
Yeah, if that's the case. I mean, like, I would put Nobody 2 about on par with Nobody 1, maybe like a step or two down. Like, not a lot.
A bad thing,
not a lot.
That's not a bad thing,
yeah. Like, Nobody 1 had a really original concept. Nobody 2 is kind of more of that concept. So, like, yeah, I also watched Nobody 2. I also watched Naked Gun, and I'm like, all of these movies, I think for all three of the movies that I've just said, if they come onto HBO Max and you've got HBO Max, you could do a lot worse than watching Naked Gun, Nobody 2, or Weapons.
I highly recommend the Naked Gun for anybody who likes any of those movies. The new one's really good.
I was surprised at how well it maintained the spirit, at how well it hewed to the humor stylings of the original Police Squad.
It's fantastic.
But yeah, Weapons, worth a watch, totally good. I don't think probably people shouldn't go in like it's not like a big spooky monster movie.
No,
kind of the same way that Barbarian was like less. Barbarian had some like scares, but it was more. I think that the Zach Cregger stuff is more of like what you would call it, almost more of like a supernatural thriller than
it's more of the mystery of what's going on in Weapons, and then the reveal of what it is more different than what you would get from normal thriller,
right?
And that's really what makes that stand out from just making it a thriller.
Yes. It was also, I would just briefly say that there's one specific scene in the movie that I was like, I got to the end and I was like, well, I understand everything that happened in the movie except for that. And so I went online and I was like, what was that all about? I don't understand. What the fuck was that all about? And there's an interview with Zach Cregger where he's like, yeah, what the fuck was that all about? I don't even know. And I'm like, oh, fuck off. Like, I mean, like, it's interesting.
That's his way of being like, I'm not going to bother explaining this because I probably forgot about this after taking a gallon of PCP.
Yes. It was a very strange scene. Anybody that seen the movie probably knows. There's one, it's not all those hot dogs. There was one scene in the movie where I was just like, and okay, I was like, well, I'd be interested to see what that means. And then I got to the end of the movie and I was like, you know what? I never found out what the meaning of it was that thing. So I went online and then I went down the Reddit rabbit hole of people yelling at each other on Reddit about this movie is stupid and like that. This movie is great. And like,
it's all up to interpretation type of things.
Yeah. Good recommend. go see Weapons. Go rent Weapons. If you like a horror movie, it's at least very original. So, what about you, Michael? You see anything good? You play anything good? Watch anything good?
Well, the new season of Only Murders in the Building has just started this week. And I've been waiting for a while because I love that show. I got my girlfriend into it as well.
Is that season 4
We're
or
at 5 now? We're at season 5 now.
Okay.
And it continues from the last season's ending because the last season ended with a character who's been in the show so far for every season dying in a very mysterious way, of course, and them just being like, well, I don't know what to do. And then the opening of the season is like, well, the cops are saying it was an accident. And they're like, well, I don't know if we believe that. And then at the end of the last season as well, there was mention of a possible mob person missing, and the guy's wife at the end of the last season was like, well, I want you to find him. Is like, well, we're not actually a detective agency.
Yeah,
we've just been investigating people who keep getting murdered in our building,
right? Which
just for some reason keeps happening. And so, but then there's like some stuff that happens that connects him, or connects that specific guy to the person who died.
Okay.
And so they're just like, well, now we got to figure out how that connects to this, and then we got to figure out how, like, what the guy was up to that could have caused anything to happen to him to begin with.
Okay.
Because it's very suspicious of, like, how he died, even though they were told it was an accident. They're like, well, we need to find out what happened to him. To like, or else we'll feel just like awful about it.
Sounds like the premise of a television show.
Yeah, and then they introduce some new characters that are like that the show. It's one of those things where the show's like, you remember how this person was friends with this person?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out there was this other friend the whole time that you don't know anything about, and she's played by Jonah Hill's sister, who was in the first season of What We Do in the Shadows. She was the college student.
Oh, okay.
Who Nadia turns.
Yeah.
So she shows up. She's an old friend of Selena Gomez's character.
Okay.
Now she's a popular SoundCloud artist.
Sure.
Because she changed her name to just Thea, but spelled like the, T-H-E. And she's like, yeah, every time somebody searches anybody with a V, I come up. So that's so she's like, so you look for the Beatles? You get me. It's just so it's like really funny.
Okay.
And so there, yeah. And then there's already some twists that turns out there's a secret door that leads into like a secret area that they didn't know about.
Sure.
That is connected to the thing. And they already did like an episode about the person who died as like a flashback episode of like their life starting at the building and then like getting to the point where they died.
Is it all out?
No, it's just the first 3 episodes.
Oh, okay.
And the last episode introduces some of the core suspects.
Okay.
And they're played by some very famous people. One of them is Renee Zellweger. One of them is I always forget his name because he's Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
And then I forgot who the third guy is because he's played like a younger. I think he was in the Maze Runner. I can't remember. But he's supposed
one of them. They're Maze Runners.
But he's supposed to be like the youngest of like these 3 people because they're like.
Is it Percy Jackson?
Actually, I think it is the guy who played
Percy Jackson.
I think it's the guy who played Percy Jackson in the movie.
Oh, okay.
and so it ends with them like. With like something happening where you're like, okay, maybe one of these guys is the one who did it. We're not really sure. Well, again, we're not sure because it's the first 3 episodes.
Sure.
But it's going to be weekly from here on. And I'm trying to be as vague as possible because bringing up any specific thing ruins like the reveal of an episode.
Yeah.
Essentially. But Steve Martin's still amazing. Martin Short's still amazing.
Is it the same production team?
Everyone's been doing it the same thing the whole way through.
Okay.
And just hearing the theme, because they use the theme a lot throughout just the episode, like the way like the Superman theme will appear as they do things. And so it's just like it just brings me happy feelings, even though like clearly they're like checking murder stuff. But there's some great scenes that are just like really funny because at one point they find something and they're like, well, we need to find out if this person's missing this. Yeah. So they go to the wake of this guy, but his hands are like covered. So they're like, well, I can't figure out if he's missing a finger or not. And so Steve Martin's just like trying to look in there, and at one point he's like groping the body. Okay. And they're trying to distract him or distract everyone else at the wake to keep them from seeing him do that. And so it's full of slapstick in that way, but it's still like a really compelling mystery.
Okay.
And that's what they're great at, and I'm very happy Steve Martin says he might retire if the show whenever the show ends. So I honestly want it to keep going for as long as possible.
Okay,
they're actually coming to Austin apparently in January.
Yeah, one of these days I got to get around to watching it.
It's fantastic.
I watched a few episodes and it was. Oh, but you know what? I think I'm in the exact same position that I was in the last time, which was that I just got finished watching like. It was like 30 Rock or something, and there was like a movie that was set in New York. There was like, you got to watch Early Birds Building. I'm like, guys, I'm New Yorked out. Out. Like, because sometimes you watch these movies, sometimes you watch these TV shows that are set in New York, and they're so rooted in there where I'm just like, listen, Hollywood, other places exist. Like, other towns are a thing. Like, it's not just California and New York and nothing else. Like, sometimes you get tired of being like, well, it's either LA or Brooklyn. And I'm like, what about fucking Chicago? What about the Pit, right? Like, you could just set something somewhere else.
It's always funny to me that's always... There's some of my favorite shows are either California or New York based.
Yep.
With like a handful of them not. Like it's like Sunny's in Philadelphia.
Right.
So is Abbott Elementary. But I don't really think I've watched a show where it's like outside of King of the Hill where you're like, yeah, we're just in Texas.
Yeah.
Type thing.
I mean, I guess I should be clear. I just started rewatching 30 Rock, and so I'm like, I don't know if I want to be like having two New York shows running simultaneously.
No, I get it. It's very New York, and in fact, like the opening is like Steve Martin and them talking about like how people feel unsafe in the city, even though like it's probably way safer out in that city than it is like in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, type of thing. So they're very much like, we are New Yorkers and like we're the fucking best type thing. So that's why I'm like, no, I get it, especially because the way that series opens.
Yeah.
So
well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and talk about some video games. Because this week we had a couple, like last 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think we got the news that Acclaim has come back from the dead.
And just like Acclaim, it turns out that's probably was fine if they did not.
Yeah, I mean, Acclaim...
Based on what you've told me, at least.
Acclaim was around for a long time. Just as a quick refresher, Acclaim was around for a long time, and then they went out of business, and then they got brought back, I think it was like in 2019 or something.
Something like that, yeah.
And they went out of business again, and now they've been brought back as basically an indie publishing house. So think of them like a Devolver Digital, right? They've got some like, there's a guy that was like a producer on a bunch of games. There's like, I think there's like a wrestler dude. And there's like a couple of VC people got together and they were basically just like, and I think what they did was they looked at the state of the video game industry and they were like, you know what? It's good to be... It doesn't cost a lot of money. It's like horror movies. It doesn't cost a lot of money to publish an indie game, right? Especially if you're not development costs, you're just publishing, right?
It doesn't take a lot.
If you've got the contacts to do it, it doesn't take a lot to do it. But then, like, what if you publish Balatro, right? What if you publish Hades? What if you publish, like, one of these big indie games?
You just need one really like popular indie game, and people start taking your brand seriously again.
And we're in a golden age of indies, right?
Yes.
Like the big AAA stuff is weirdly okay.
It's stagnant is the thing. Like creatively, it's stagnant.
You can't be assured. Like, we got a whole thing about the fact that Hollow Knight is only $20, but like, you just can't be assured these days that you're going to buy a $70 video game and that it's not going to either like run like ass, be unfinished, or just not be very good, or just be like a 7 out of 10 for a premium price point.
Even like the biggest names in what you like, you find yourself going, well, that was all right. Like, that's what happened with you with Doom: The Dark Ages.
Right.
And that happens to a lot of people with Starfield last year. So it's
I think there's a lot of people with
the year before that or whatever it was.
Monster Hunter that are like, this is fine, but like, but
it was like still $70,
right?
It wasn't like the second you went, it's fine. Somebody was like, I'm sorry about that. Here's $30 back or something. Right. It's not how it works.
So anyway, they had a little showcase, and we're not going to spend a lot of time, or we're just going to kind of plow through these because it wasn't big. It was like 20 or 30 minutes long, and I'll be honest, Michael, there wasn't a lot in here. Like, these are some indie games.
Okay.
But we're going to just kind of look over these. It started off with a game called Grid Beat that's like a kind of an abstract top-down, like it's really abstract. It's like shapes and colors.
I was not expecting this when I saw it.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a little rhythm game. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like a hacking mini game from a bigger game that was expanded. And the big thing about it is that you have to move on. It's got like a big thumping techno soundtrack, and you have to move on the beat because everything moves on the beat. So it's one of those games, but it's kind of a top-down. Like it really reminds me of like, oh, this is the hacking game from the new Deus Ex game. Or
it feels like one, yeah.
So, but it's got some pretty decent, like, iconography. It's got decent enough art. It's got some like upgrade mechanics and stuff like that. And, you know, if you're into that sort of thing, like, again, depending on how much it costs to get done, it could be fine. I don't know. You haven't seen any of these, right?
No, I was very busy at work, unfortunately, so I couldn't look at the podcast links again today.
But, so, I mean, you know, this is pretty basic stuff. Basketball Classics is a really weird one. This is a basketball game, and it's like a lo-fi arcade 5-on-5 basketball game, but it's got like players throughout the ages. It's got like 20 years worth of actual basketball players.
Interesting.
But they're all just like they look kind of like Atari 2600 guys, but they've got little cutscenes that come up when they do specific things.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the way NBA Jam sort of looked, except even less detailed than that was.
Right.
And like, and then the cutscene thing is like the only other thing that kind of makes it not exactly that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of references in this trailer too, by the way. Some Mega Man 2 references throughout this thing.
Yeah. It looks like an interesting take. Like it's not just a generic basketball game.
No,
but it's not a realistic basketball game. So it's it really is kind of like, what if NBA Jam was on the Atari 2600 type of thing. Yeah.
And there's like a lot of like mini games to pull off certain moves.
Yeah.
Like that was the one where the guy's like dunking and you have to like tap it real fast to keep them from stopping you.
Yeah.
There was one that was like do the movements so you could do that 360 sort of like spin that they do to dunk as well. Like I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so that's out now on PC and it's coming soon to consoles. Ground Zero Hero is like, I'm starting to get a little tired of these kind of like top-down isometric action games. It's kind of like a big hordes of guys. Well,
this is just Vampire Survivor, like literally. Looking at it,
it's also talking like there's a weird thing where they're like, oh, it's the apocalypse and you've got to get candy. So there's like a bunch of like weird mutants. It's got a very cartoony art style. It's just very bizarre.
Like honestly, I'm only disappointed because it's like, well, this is just Vampire Survivor, but with a like trying to look at a lot different. Like it frustrates me because this is something that feels like a cash-in attempt at seeing somebody make a lot of money at something,
right,
and think they can do it themselves.
Yeah, which like who knows? Sometimes
but they're like, what if I made it more animated? Maybe people will find it different.
I think that a lot of people. I think that there's probably people that are fans of that genre of the Vampire Survivor style game. I just don't think anybody has managed to pull off a decent successor.
No,
right?
like people keep trying, and I don't think anybody's pulled it off. This one, I think, is only more interesting because I think they've done the most work animation-wise.
Yes,
for the game compared to some of the other knockoffs we've seen out there. Because some people just try to make Vampire Survivor itself again,
right?
And then this guy's at least trying to like have a different, unique like look.
Speaking of big fat homages, Pixel Washer is a game where you play as a pig, and it's a little pixel game, and it is basically you Power Wash Simulator, but like from a different perspective. I don't know how, like, there's some implications in this trailer that things get a little weirder. Like it starts with you just like cleaning up your house, and by the end you're
you're a little pig too. So
you're a little pig guy. By the end you're out in the world, and then there's like unlocking routes after you clean stuff. I don't know. I'm a big fan of the Power Wash Simulator thing, but again, this feels like a, well, let's give people who already played all of Power Wash Simulator another Power Wash Simulator to play.
But without spending too much more having to do like 3D models.
Right.
Like so it's charming because of the fact that it looks like a really good pixel-based game.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't know.
It's very strange. But it looks okay. Talaka is this is an Afro-Brazilian inspired like 2D action game. Everything is very like hand drawn.
Oh, yeah, this is actually legitimately interesting looking.
Yeah, the only thing I'm not like super into with this, like I love the way that the art style looks, but the environments are very generic.
I can see why it's trying to be too much of like a painted background.
Yeah,
but the person probably had only so many backgrounds they could make.
Right. So it's got a very interesting art style. It's got these, looks like it's got these kind of like gods that give you these upgrades and stuff.
Yeah, like everything feels like a watercolor almost come to life type idea, which does really lend to like how interesting it looks like. Because it doesn't feel like it's knocking off anything. It actually is trying to be its own, like an actual drawing, set of drawings come to life.
Right.
And the fact that it's doing like idle animation stuff, it works because it's still trying to be like kind of one of those old kind of beat 'em up games.
Yeah.
Or adventure type games that you don't need it to be overly detailed, but enough that everything still looks really cool.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Yeah.
This is one that I actually think you guys should look out for. This one has promise.
It was pretty interesting. Toss Down is a weird game. This is you're delivering packages and you're like running through this really chaotic world, getting like power-ups and stuff. There's like missiles and people trying to jack you, and it's kind of a top-down perspective. This one, I don't know. This one is one of those ones where it's like, this could be fun, but I would have to get my hands on a demo to know for sure.
Yeah, this is what happened to us with that one delivering game.
Oh,
with the driving, where you're like, this looks kind of fun, and then we tried it, and we're like, well, this is just okay.
Yeah,
and this one has the same idea where I'm like, well, this does look like it could be cool. But
it also reminds me an awful lot for some reason of that game that we played that was like with the clown, where it was like the kind of Grand Theft Auto.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like mayhem game.
Yeah, because you couldn't stop moving in that one either.
Right. So I don't know. Again, it also just seems like it's kind of like all of these seem like they're just a riff on a specific video game that I've seen before.
Yes, except for that one that I mentioned, and even then, kind of.
Yeah. And then we had the Prisoning Fletcher's Quest, which appears to be just like a pixel animated 2D platformer where you're playing as a guy, and it's all about going into your dreams and taking on various challenges related to your insecurities and stuff. I gotta be honest, I watched this one and I tried to become interested in it, and by the end I was like, I'm not.
I just don't like there's just something off about it.
Yeah,
I can't put my finger on it other than like the art design looks like it's both generic but not generic enough.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I don't know. I think that when I look at the action of it, it looks like it's much more platform based and less like combat based.
Yeah.
I was interested though. I didn't see it the first time I watched this. That one part where there's like some kind of tear in the world and there's like writing behind it, which is kind of interesting. But I don't know. Again, I need somebody smarter than me to go play this and be like, make an hour-long video about why I should play this before I would ever consider picking it up.
I think everything in the back is supposed to be like reviews for a game.
Oh, maybe.
Because I see something that just says something about the movement.
Yeah.
You have to backtrack over and over again, I think is what it says.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird... It just didn't really...
it doesn't grab me.
It didn't grab me very much.
It just looks kind of generic, unfortunately.
Hyper Yuki Snowboard Syndicate is basically SSX Tricky.
Yeah, I was about to say. Like, it's got that jet grind animation.
Yeah, the kind of blocky jet grind, like, characters and, like, hyper color art style, but then you're on a snowboard and you're doing tricks. I mean, it seems like a pretty decent version of a snowboarding game if that's what you're into.
Yeah, they don't make a lot of these anymore, so I think that's the reason why this is fine.
Yeah. Which actually got me wondering how we've had so many Tony Hawk Pro Skater like revivals, but where's my SSX Tricky remaster? Like,
it's because they need Shaun White to like say it's good.
Oh, okay, okay.
Is Shaun White still popular? I don't even know if that's true
I don't
anymore.
think so. Is it because they can't get the rights to the song The Run DMC just refuses to let them reuse the song, and they're like, we're not going to remake this without the song. So
I actually can see that happening, possibly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Looks okay.
Again, this looks fine. It's just it's kind of what everything else was, where it's like it's a take on a thing that we've already seen, right? What if
it feels very Acclaim, ironically, because of that. Acclaim, like, is like, we're back and just as shitty as ever.
Yep, and just as like, oh, it's a take on something that you already know and like better than this.
It's like, wow, Acclaim, you have not changed a bit.
And then last but not least, they announced and then launched the same day Katana Knot. We'd actually seen Katana Knot before. It's like side-scrolling kind of sci-fi.
This is how we found out they were back again.
Oh, yeah.
Because we saw the trailer for this, and they're like, Acclaim. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. I talked about this a little bit last week, where I kind of like the art style in this quite a bit, but I don't like the idle stance of the character.
Yeah, you did mention that last time. Yeah.
But I don't know. This might be one to check out. Maybe we'll do like a Patreon video for it at some point, because it does have a lot of violence and it does seem dark and futuristic, and I do like both of those things. So
yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah. And that was it. That was the Acclaim thing. It was like 20 minutes, a few trailers, kept waiting to get excited. It's fine.
Sure, I guess.
It's fine.
That's exactly how we used to
feel about
Acclaim back in the day.
What was Acclaim's best game? Were they Mortal Kombat publishers back before NetherRealm split off?
I don't remember if they did Mortal Kombat. They did a shit ton of licensed games, though.
Yeah.
So my favorite ones were like the Spider-Man games they made.
Did they do Area 51?
No, that was just straight up not NetherRealm. That was just Midway.
Oh, Midway back in the let's see, list of Acclaim Entertainment games. Ooh,
they did a lot of really garbage.
Let's see if we can find.
Oh, they did release the Mortal Kombat ones.
Turok.
I think they were the
the Crow City of Angels for the PlayStation 1. Yeah, boy, Psychic Force. I don't even know what that is.
Everything I remember them from was like Super Nintendo era.
I think I did a lot of like because they
did all the WWF games. I think
Riven on the PlayStation. So they published like Riven, but on the PlayStation.
I think that's what they did with the Mortal Kombat. I think they were the publishers for
the ones who shoved it on the PlayStation.
The ones that did it on.
So we get down to
like Super Nintendo and Sega.
2004, Baldur's Gate: Dark Alliance 2.
The Worms games.
Yeah.
No, I remember them mostly for like I think my favorite game they ever made was Maximum Carnage, if I remember correctly.
Okay,
that was them.
So yeah, Acclaim is back. Huzzah!
Back and as mediocre as ever, and that's being nice.
That's being charitable. Well, speaking of non-mediocre, we have a bevy of Silksong stories to go through.
Silksong's just taken over everything.
Yep,
it's crazy.
Silksong did something I'd never seen before, where the day that it came out, it kind of crashed all of the platforms that it was released on.
Every single one.
Like the Steam store, like Steam was fucked up because of the number of people. Because there were no like pre-orders for it, I don't think. No. It's like you had to wait for it to come out. So as soon as it came out, everyone was smashing the buy button at the same time. So yeah, they're an actual... I've never seen Steam... outside of like, well, all of Steam is down for some maintenance or something, but just like... Steam has been ground to a halt by the purchasing of a single game is not a sentence that I've encountered very often in my life. So
it was Steam, and then I heard the PlayStation store for it was down.
Yep,
the Xbox one was down.
Well, no, okay, so Xbox store went down also because it released on Xbox and Game Pass the same day. Switch store was fucked up because it was a Switch
less surprising, to be honest.
Yeah. And then I think that like because the PS5 launch was like staggered, like it didn't come out the exact same time. And I think there were a few problems there, but not nearly as much. It's just mostly the Steam thing. Like
Steam was the surprise. That was the thing. Steam is usually prepared for that sort of thing.
Nintendo actually pulled the eShop, like put up the eShop as having maintenance message on their website.
I think Schreier is the one that the tweet that's like the first boss of Silksong is very difficult.
Right.
Just try to buy it.
But then as people bought it, it eventually started lightening up, and it wasn't that long. Like you could have just, unless you were just sitting there slamming on the refresh button, it like resolved itself.
Yeah.
It was just a big traffic jam. So.
But it's just one of the rarest things. I can't think of another game that's done that.
Yep.
At all, to be honest.
Well, I think most other games have either a pre-order part.
That's true.
Where it's like you can order them ahead of time, so it's not everybody trying to buy it as soon as it unlocks. Like
everybody buying and then downloading it at the same time.
Right.
Like because when you pre-order anything digitally, it downloads it ahead of time.
Yep.
It just doesn't let you do anything with it until the day of.
Yep. So yeah. That was what happened the day it came out. Let's see. One of the big things that also happened the day it came out was that there was a bunch of, I don't want to say review bombing because I read this whole article. Negative reviews posted on Silksong from Chinese users who were upset about the translation. I was a little flippant about this earlier this week, and then I kind of went through this article and read it, and like Chinese language users said that like, yes, the tone is very off compared to the localization in the first game in a way that makes it sound like everybody's trying to speak in a very like awkwardly flamboyant but old like fashion.
It sounds like somebody AI'd it.
No, I don't know. I don't think that's the case this time around. I think it's just that like, you know, let me put it this way. Like if you were Team Cherry, small team, right?
Yeah.
You outsource your localization. Somebody does it. They do a bad job. They hand it to you. How do you check it?
Yeah,
like
there's no way to check that.
If you have nobody on your staff who knows Chinese, how do you QA the tone, not the information, but like the tone of it? Because the information could actually, if you run it through a translation, you could be like, well, all the words are right. But then when you are a native Chinese reader, you read it, you could be like, oh no, this is like, you know, what if you're playing Death Stranding 2 and it was like, forsooth, Sam of Stranding, welcome to the kingdom. I am need tarry not and bring my supplies henceforth to the. And you'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Okay,
like,
I see what happened. Then.
Like, you know, the what you're being asked to do is technically correct. But you would be like, but why are you talking like that?
That's fair. Actually, that's crazy. I didn't realize that's what was going on.
Because what was the thing that they said? Like, let's see. They call this is a translation expert who called the Chinese dialogue the equivalent of, quote, a high school drama club's Elizabethan improv night, unquote.
Oh, God.
So, you know, at first it was like I had read this headline as review bombing, but like if it's legitimately fucked up, that's not review bombing.
No, those are legitimate criticisms.
Yep. And Team Cherry came out and they said, you are correct. We're going to go ahead and get that fixed. But, you know, it's a thing that's going to have to be...
It's going to be a while.
...done, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not something... Unless you chalk it into an AI, it's not like it's going to be done tomorrow.
Exactly.
You don't do a hot fix for a new translation of a thing. But it also does bring up an interesting question about, like, how much... Like, how in the world do you QA the tone of something that's been translated into a foreign language?
Yeah, you don't have a good way of doing that. You would have to hire a third-party person of that language just to know.
And if they do a bad job... Oh, like if the translator does a bad job, you'd have to have like a QA person that specifically speaks the language. So are you supposed to hire like one QA person that speaks every language that you're translating your game into to make sure that the tone is correct?
Yeah, the biggest problem with it is that you can't, like, you would have to hire somebody to do the localization and translation.
Yeah.
But then you would need a third-party person who can translate that.
Yeah.
And also trust them, by the way.
Yep.
That what they have is fine or not.
Right.
And so, because if not, you're just fucking hiring people to hire the people that, like, it's who's watching the Watchmen type shit.
Yep.
That you're just like, this is just fucking ridiculous at this point.
It actually, hey, you know what? I'm not much of a pro AI guy because there's been a little bit too much like weirdness and funkiness, but it does make a bit of a case for an AI that's not going to like do a craptacular job or just say like can you read this and tell me what the tone is?
Yeah.
Like, you might be able to get a better result. But I don't know.
It's tricky. It's
hard.
a tricky thing.
Yeah, it's hard to know.
Because even then, I don't trust the AI to know what tone is.
That, yep, very true, very true. Let's see. We also got the. I felt like, what's the meme of the guy with the noose? The first time,
yeah.
Because like
the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
The new Silksong came out, and everybody's like, "This game's too hard," and I'm just like, "Oh, buddy, I've been through this every single time FromSoft puts out a game. This game is too hard."
And even the first Hollow Knight was like that.
First Hollow Knight, yep. I think the first Hollow Knight is too hard, to be honest. I played all the way to the end of that motherfucker, and I was like, that was too hard. I wish it was easier. I wish there was an easy mode. One of the big things that's happened is that, there's a couple of things. Touching an enemy now will take off 2 hit points. Like, it used to just be like 1.
Oh, okay.
A lot of enemies will take off 2 hit points if you just like accidentally run into them. In the first game, you had the kind of like Zelda 2 down thrust, so you kind of pogo, right? Well, that's now like an angled down thrust, and when you hit them, you just kind of bounce right up over them, and so it's really easy to hit a guy and then land on them.
That's fucked.
And like in the first Hollow Knight, it was a big thing. Like, there were plenty of places in the game where you could get through it by just kind of like staying above a character because their attacks were always left or right.
Yeah.
There's also hella long run backs to bosses apparently in this game, and the resources that you need to unlock stuff at the beginning of the game are like kind of a pain in the ass. So it's been an interesting thing where a lot of people are like, Team Cherry has said that the development of Silksong was a very closed off thing where they weren't testing it with the community and they were doing stuff.
Yeah.
And so you probably had a bunch of people, and apparently it started as a DLC, which actually, having played some of the DLC, I didn't finish the DLC for Hollow Knight because it's all challenge shit and it's too hard. And I was like, fuck that. I don't care about this game enough. So it appears that we might have had a situation where it was like, the people that fucking made the game and are really, 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 really good at it were the ones that were like, yeah, this is all fine. This is great. You just, you just parry, you dodge, and you go through this tiny little hitbox, and then you just jump over here and
it's the same issue where they didn't just ask like one guy who doesn't play the game every day and tweak with it every day, being like, hey, how hard is this? Like, they just didn't bother. But because they were worried that, like, people would leak shit.
Yeah. Or even QAing with people who have never played a Hollow Knight game, right?
Yes.
Like, gamers that have never played a Hollow Knight game, they didn't call me at all. I was there. I spent 7 years not playing Hollow Knight. I could have been perfect for this.
I was contacted technically when I was doing those articles.
Yeah.
And I don't think even if we said yes, they were going to give us anything.
Yeah. And it brings up an interesting question, which is that I think that I would have really enjoyed Hollow Knight 1 if it had an easier mode, if it had any kind of difficulty slider, like to change, even if it was accessibility options, right, to turn stuff on or turn stuff off. It's just like I'm kind of in a place where I'm a little sick of games that have no way of mitigating difficulty. Like,
I'm sick of games having not only that, but also having the ability to mitigate difficulty, but you don't get the actual ending unless you do the whatever the hard-ass mode is. That was my issue with Cuphead, for instance, because Cuphead was a game that everyone I knew was looking forward to. Came out hard as shit. They're like, well, we made like an easier mode. Oh, that's great, but you can't get the actual ending if you do that. I'm like, well, fuck you. I don't give a shit anymore.
I mean, one of the things that I constantly tell people about most of Souls games is that Souls games have different builds, man. Like, you can make a mage build. Every magic build in every Souls game is easy mode. Like, that's easy mode, is run with magic. Do the fucking Kamehameha on Melania and kill her in 3 shots, right? Like, as opposed to, like, naked, no-hit, parry-only level 1 runs. But the thing with Hollow Knight was that there's no difficulty level, and the amount of customization you have is somewhat limited.
Yeah.
Like, there are ways to mitigate difficulty. I had a hard time with the last boss of Hollow Knight 1 until I found out there was one charm that I was missing, and then I went and got it, and I was like, oh, that's what I needed to beat this fucking game. So that's been going on. So now we've got the big discussion, people that are like, is the game too hard? Is it become too aggressive? My wife played Hollow Knight 1 as her favorite game. She played Hollow Knight 2 and got so discouraged that she stopped playing it, et cetera, et cetera.
I think a lot of people just forget what those games were, what that game was when it came out the first time.
Well, that's the other side of the coin that, for me, of watching this, is that everybody thinks that the game is really hard until they get used to it, and then it's fucking beating it on Donkey Konga in 25 seconds, right? Like, it's using a neural link or a saxophone to fucking beat the hardest boss that's ever been committed to video games. And you say, and I get that not everybody's on that level, but a lot of times people bring their preconceptions from the past game into the new game, and then when the new game is kicking their ass, they're like, why isn't it the same? Why is it worse? And they're like, I hate it. And
that happened with us with Death Stranding 2 when it first came out. We thought we were doing that part where the first big BT, and you were like, oh, this is actually a difficult boss battle.
Yeah.
Instead of murdering him right away.
Right.
And we weren't like, oh, the game sucks now. We were just like, oh, they made it harder because the last one was legitimately too easy.
Yeah. So, there's a question there. Like, sometimes if without a difficulty adjustment, without a difficulty slider or options, you may end up losing people who don't, or like, I don't want to play with you anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like, this, I play games for fun. This is not fun. Goodbye. Good night. I'll look up the ending on YouTube. Which is interesting because that has also led to the fact that most of the mods most popular mods on Nexus mods for Hollow Knight Silksong are ones that make the game easier.
Oh.
They take away the damage so that it's only ever like one little head for regular enemies. Like bosses may do 2, but like regular enemies only do 1. There's one that adds in mapping earlier on in the game. There's one that adds in health bars for the bosses. I would have desperately liked health bars in the bosses, because when I was fighting the last boss over and over again, I was like, I have no idea how far I am in this process. Like, I've just been wailing on this motherfucker, and he's getting ready to go to phase 4, and I'm like, are there 8 phases? Because if there are, fuck yourself. Like,
this is why old beat 'em ups used to have the red flashing.
Yes,
because eventually you're like, you're like, okay, I am getting somewhere.
Yes, and some of the bosses in Hollow Knight, they'll get a slightly different animation when they're damaged.
Yeah,
but it's still. There's a reason. Reason for that. And then, you know what? Let's wrap it up with this one. So we got both of those. Team Cherry is putting out a new patch. I guess when you guys hear this, it'll be in the coming week. That does lower a little bit of difficulty early on in the game. A little bit. Like, not a lot, but a little bit.
Just enough where like people are having too much trouble type of thing.
They're lightening up a little bit on the first 2 bosses. They're lowering the amount of like resources needed for some of the early game purchases. They're upping the amount of currency that drops in a few places, and they're nerfing, I think, like one particularly unpleasant mob. I'd be honest, Michael, after watching the way that Hollow Knight worked, I played Hollow Knight after it had been around for 7 years, and it had like year after year of balance fixes, additional content, like new endings, new weapons, new areas. Like, if I was going to play Silksong, I'm not playing it now. Like, it's not done. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's the 1.0, but nowadays
I can wait for the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So nowadays, the 1.0 of any game is rarely the version you should play of any game.
Yeah,
like, it's very rare.
I'm not so into this franchise that I can't wait for them to add on a bunch of new stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So. And that's not all the Silksong news we have, but that is as much time as we have for part 1. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got more Silksong to talk about. Stick around. We'll see you in just a minute. And we're back. And we have more Hollow Knight Silksong news for you. So Michael, in the original Hollow Knight, once you beat the game, you get a mode that you can do that's called Steel Soul. And Steel Soul is basically Iron Man mode for Hollow Knight, where if you die, your save file is locked out, and all you can do is start over again from the beginning.
Oh, fuck.
People found out, like within 24 hours of launch, that there's an extras menu in Silksong, and if you go in there and do a modified Konami code, where it's up, down, left, right, it will unlock that mode from the start for Silksong, a game
incredible.
that is even harder than original Hollow Knight.
There's already a streamer working on doing that, probably
with a saxophone.
Right, yeah, and their fish.
Yes,
the fish playing the saxophone.
Yeah, the fish plays the saxophone, and they're going to beat Hollow Knight. No hit run.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that says a lot. The fact that they unlocked that, like, just from the very beginning, you don't even have to beat the game or anything.
I love that though for them. I'm glad the Konami code is still kicking,
still out there,
even if they make like different versions of it.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're into that, you can go do it right now.
The incantations.
A bunch of indie developers have come out and they say they are worried about. This is such a weird story. This is like that when we had that Xavier Nelson guy talking about Baldur's Gate 3.
I know. There's
a bunch of indie developers that are like kind of lamenting the fact that Hollow Knight Silksong is $20.
That's crazy to me, by the way.
Because, like, well, first off, let's just say they could have charged $40 for this game and it would have sold probably just as well.
Yes.
Like, almost identically to what it sold right now. And it's on Game Pass, but the fact that it's $20 and the fact that, like, they kind of talked about how basically Team Cherry made so much money off of the original Hollow Knight, and they made it continuously over time.
Yeah.
Whenever there was new, expansions that came out, people would go back in. It's kind of No Man's Sky kind of thing.
But people just stopped buying Hollow Knight in general.
Right. That they didn't really ever have to worry about budget because they were a small team. They were very successful with their first game, and so they didn't have to worry about, like, oh, we've got to get this thing out. They were in that enviable position of basically having unlimited time to finish this because Hollow Knight, again, just kept on selling over time. And that there's like not a lot of other indie games could do this because they have bigger budgets or they have larger teams,
or they're like beholden to something,
or they're beholden to like a publisher
to make more money.
Yeah, like the company that's making that Starbirds game, the one that's got the art style from that one YouTube channel.
Oh yeah,
was talking about like how, well, here the quote is, we're trying not to compete too directly with Silksong, both in terms of release date and pricing. Of course, there are two very different games with potentially different player bases, but there's definitely some overlap. That makes things tricky, especially since Starbirds is a joint project between two studios, together employing more teams or more people than Team Cherry. There's a guy on Twitter that was making an indie game that was like, I was planning on selling my game for $20, but it's only 10 to 15 hours long as opposed to, Hollow Knight's longer than that.
Hollow Knight's like it's been worked on for like a decade.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that there should be quite as much. I think this is a little bit like that Baldur's Gate thing where it's like
the exact same thing.
I get what you're saying, but I don't think that everybody in the world is going to instantly, now that Silksong is out, be like, every indie game should be as good as Silksong, and if it's not worth $20. I still think you could sell a game for $40 that isn't as good as Silksong, and it'll probably be okay.
Yeah, it's not like the entire general audience world plays Hollow Knight,
right?
In general, like Hollow Knight is a game that if I asked 10 dude bros in a room if they played Hollow Knight,
right,
I'm not expecting a lot of yeses.
Yeah.
Whereas if I expect the same thing from like a room full of, goth emo kids, I'm expecting a lot more yeses. But even then, they won't be the guys who are going like every game should be $20.
Yes,
because those people only play very specific games anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a lot more critical, I think, of AAA games going up to $80 than I am of indie games being more than $20.
Yes.
Because a lot of indie games, you can tell, it's easier to tell whether you're going to like them or not, I think, because a lot of them are based on, the Acclaim thing we just did, right? It has mechanics where you can look at a game and be like, oh, I see what kind of game that is. Whereas a lot of AAA games, they have really, really slick trailers like Metal Gear Delta, and then you install them and they run like garbage on your system. And it's like, why? Yeah. Why did I spend $70 for something in 2025 that was a PS2 game that runs like dick on all of my things?
I was going to say, then there's the trailers for, how the fuck was the name of that game that had the one that was like one of the worst games of the year this year. That Mind's Eye.
Mind's Eye. Yes.
Mind's Eye had these really interesting trailers that had me and you go like, what is this? Like, this could be kind of neat.
Could be.
And then it was, the worst fucking game of the year type of thing.
Yep.
And so you're not 100% certain with those games, but with these, they are one type of game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a Metroidvania that's very difficult. So you're like, so this would make us interested. But if this was like Management Simulator,
right,
2027, the Hollow Knight edition or some shit, you'd be like, well, I don't fucking definitely give a shit about that. So yeah, very well because indie games, since they only have so much money, they can only be one thing usually.
Yes,
and it's always surprising when they're not. But those are the rarer ones. But they always put those all in the trailers too, to show how different they are.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation, but I really hope that, much like that Baldur's Gate 3 quotey fingers controversy, that it nobody really takes this all that seriously. Because I don't think that even if this is the best-selling game and game of the year, I don't think that this means that indie games need to all be $20.
Yeah, and the Baldur's Gate one made a little more sense to me because of it comes down to somebody being like, well, it's like Baldur's Gate, so people expect it to be the more intense thing. So that actually had a normal argument that made sense to me.
Yeah,
this one, indie games were charged whatever the fuck they wanted for years.
Yep, I
don't think anyone's ever going to even notice.
I don't think so either.
They probably think it's just on sale, to be honest.
Probably, and it probably will be on sale. However. Okay, let's cap this off with this is a little bit of a tragic story. So there's this game that came out last week. So we know that all the games got out of the blast radius of Silksong, right? Atari has this game. They were publishing this game called Adventures of Samsara that is like a Metroidvania-esque pixel art game. You play as a little knight. You kind of running around. You hitting stuff. It's it's like pixel art, kind of a cool vibe to it. Came out the same week, and apparently it hit 12 concurrent users on Steam.
Oh no.
This is why everybody backed away from the blast radius.
Yeah.
Was because
Atari did not get that memo.
Well, but then there's also been some chatter where it's like Atari also didn't do jack shit worth of did you know this game was a thing? Had you ever heard about this before?
I was about to say this. I was about to say that though. I don't think anyone even knew this existed.
Yeah. It seems like Atari probably dropped the ball a little bit, and if they were going to do more promotion, that they decided not to. They were just like, okay, fucking save your money, right?
And the art style is very quaint.
Yes.
Compared to everything.
Yes.
Also, how much was this game?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't actually know.
Because that's another thing that ironically could have accidentally fucked them.
Adventure of Samsara. There it is on Steam. It is $20.
Okay. So the general audience doesn't even know this game exists.
Yep.
And it costs the same as one of the most highly anticipated games ever.
Yep.
And
I mean,
it didn't stand a chance.
Baby Steps moved their release date.
Yeah, and everyone knows Baby Steps.
Baby Steps and Silksong are not even remotely of the same genre, right?
This is clearly the same genre.
Yeah, this is a very similar style of
way
game.
more quaint.
Yes,
even to the point where its movements kind of remind me of an old Atari type idea.
Yeah, I think that
it's kind of charming in its own way.
It is. It's got nice graphics. It's got nice pixel art to it. I wish the main character was a little bigger. That is a little small, but
him being really tiny and his, like I said, his movements are a little interesting.
Choppy.
And so that's what makes it not as interesting as it could possibly. Because you look at that art, it looks like this really badass guy.
Right.
And then you play the game.
You're like, a little guy.
He's just a little guy who runs kind of weird.
So, anyway, I don't know. If you guys are into Metroidvanias, maybe go check out Adventure of Samsara. Maybe one of these days I'll throw it into a video for the site.
I wonder how many people have played it now.
More, but I look at the reviews, it's got 20 positive reviews.
Jesus.
Those
poor bastards.
Kotaku did a I know this because there was a Kotaku story that was discussing it, but So it probably has gotten a few more people looking at it, but by the same token, oof, I feel bad.
This just reminds me of Zap Brannigan. It's like, well, look, Zap, the Silksong is coming out, and so everybody else has moved out of the way. It's like, that's for that's for wusses.
Yeah.
Now here's a release date with some chest hair.
Right. So yeah. Let's see. Speaking of Atari, Atari announced a handheld, like, kind of Steam Deck-ish type of thing a little while back. It's interesting. It's like I
remember this now.
It's like a Steam Deck, but I don't know. Like, here's one of the more interesting things about this is that when you look at it, it's got like a D-pad, and then up here it's got a twist, like a knob.
Oh, because since Atari had a lot of knob games.
And then what's this hand is hiding in the screenshot. There's a trackball down there for other types of games. There was a couple of trackball Atari games out there.
That's interesting.
And then on the right-hand side, it's got 4 face buttons like you normally have, but below it, it has like the numpad, the Intellivision, like, like 9-button pad on it.
What a crazy idea.
Yeah. And it comes preloaded with a bunch of Atari 2600 ROMs, as well as some of they've been doing a few of these like retro remix games where they've got some games. So all that is known. Last week it went up for pre-order at various retailers. How much would you pay for such a device, Michael?
Not a lot, because I think Atari. All the Atari games are not really my jam.
Yeah,
I would at most give them, for something like this, knowing that's what it is, maybe 150,
180.
Oh, okay,
180.
That's still a bit too much, though.
Is a bit much.
Like 150 was me being generous.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question that you get out of this is like, can you hack it and sideload ROMs into it, right? Because if you could, then having those extra like control interfaces might be interesting for
a lot of little weird things,
a lot of other weird shit. But for this, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, until they raise the price, you can get like a Switch Lite for $200.
That's the thing. Like, I was being generous because it's like, I know this thing's probably going to be expensive.
Yeah.
So 150 was like me being generous. Mm-hmm. Even that. No one else would pay that much. 200
Atari 2600 games on it, as well as a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit much, but then by the same token, how cheap do you get a, like, because it's got a pretty big screen on it.
Yeah,
like,
it's got a big screen. It's got controls that no other handheld would have as well.
Yeah. So, like, you have to ask yourself, there was a minimum price to even break even on this thing.
Yeah.
And knowing Atari, they weren't looking to break even. They want to make a profit because they know this thing isn't going to be flying off the shelves.
Although, if we get our hands on it, we hope that it's not, like a mirror with some stuff taped to it.
Right.
So we got to be careful with that, too.
It's a trick. It also does plug into your TV. You can plug it into your TV.
That's nice, at least.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Interesting.
I'm just picturing the grandmas, though, being like, look, Billy, I got you the Switch you wanted.
Oh, right.
And he's like, an Atari, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I got you that Atari game station. That was what you wanted,
it's
right?
all the rage.
It's all a video game.
The salesman said all the kids wanted.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of, like, retro ARM-based handhelds made in China, and even though the tariffs are fucking it up, you could still get a lot of them.
Yeah.
But
you can load them with whatever.
You can load them with whatever. You can get them for like $100 off of Amazon. So, yep. Speaking of weird handheld things, Nintendo, or the Pokemon Company, announced that they're bringing back the Tamagotchis, Michael.
Oh God!
But this is the Pokemon Pokénade Monster Ball, which I actually found out that, like, there's already a version of this that came out in Japan 2 years ago. That's like a little game where you can play like a very simplified version of Pokemon.
Okay.
But this is a virtual monster thing, and then, like, you get a little screen on it's a Pokeball. It's got a little screen on it. You get a little animated Pokemon on it, and then apparently, like, you can interact with it in a bunch of different ways.
So like the top is maybe like a
it looks
touch
like it's
center?
Touch sensitive.
Yeah,
but
he's like petting the Pikachu.
I think there's like different ways that you can interact with it. There's like a bunch of different. It's like Fuecoco and Eevee and the starters from Violet are all in there.
Yeah.
Currently Japan only, but
it could go either way if we'll get it out here or not. Japan's really weird about their non-console games nowadays, because even back when the 64 was out, there was a lot of like real weird peripherals and stuff that never came out. In America, especially like a good example of that is the Super Nintendo in Japan had like an online thing you could attach to it and essentially almost get DLC before DLC was a thing. For like certain games. Like I thought that was always fascinating. So Japan doesn't, like, if they feel like they can't get away with it somewhere else, they usually just don't do it.
Also, apparently this thing is going to be $50, and I'm like,
that would sell pretty well.
I think that would. Well, I mean, the Pokemon fans mobbed the Van Gogh Museum and fucked it up for everybody. Like, of course it's going to sell. It's going to sell out instantaneously and be on back order for a billion years.
They're going to scalp them.
Scalp them online for 3 times as much. So, yep. In other Pokemon news, let's talk about hot patents, Michael.
This thing is horseshit, by the way.
Yep. So, Nintendo managed to secure a series of patents in the United States Patent Office that are the same patents that they sued Power World for in Japan, which are these very, very vague patents that are about like capturing a monster, summoning a monster in a third-person game, and then having that monster fight another monster. And it's like, this article was interesting because they talked to like a patent expert. They said that a lot of these patents were like initially rejected, and then very few changes were made, and then they were accepted with like some bullshit. But apparently let me see if I can, there's a very interesting thing that I'd never heard of before, that was this concept that happens in patent law. Let's see. Yes. Decisions that would have been obvious to, and this is a quote, this is like a concept, person of ordinary skill in the art. And what it is if you can make an argument that says that like somebody who has never played the game or like who has never encountered this could reasonably create this system on their own, then you cannot lock it. You cannot lock it in a way that it's going to, that's gonna like fuck other people.
Well, yeah, that's the reason why there's a lot of patents that people have attempted that don't work, because they're just like, well, I patent the idea of video games. Like, well, no, that's stupid. You can't do that.
But yeah, the fact that all this stuff was just kind of rubber stamped through is kind of troubling because it could affect a lot of other games.
We just fucking Death Stranding 2 has a fucking option for this now.
Yep.
It's like
you throw a thing at a guy and you catch the thing, and then later on you can summon it to fight on your behalf.
It's kind of, it's like this would affect so many games that just have that as a kind of a mechanic.
Yep.
Not even just like things that are ripping off Pokemon.
One of the games that was noted in here, I think, is like some of the Devil Summoner games have concepts that are similar. Of you have something that fights for you. Digimon is Nintendo going to sue Digimon out of existence because they were granted this patent?
It doesn't make any sense. Like even Final Fantasy VIII had a kind of similar idea where you could capture the summons, essentially.
It's possible that this was just done to attempt to sue Power World in U.S. courts. And part of the reason this might have happened was because apparently there is like a patent pipeline where if a patent is granted in Japan, it kind of skips a lot of the initial
normal
steps.
Shit, yeah.
But it probably still shouldn't have been granted.
It never should have been. But it's always been my issue with stuff that's like really cool in general and somebody patents it, and sometimes it's like something that you feel like shouldn't have been able to be patented. Like a good example was that the mini game and loading screens thing was patented by Bandai Namco for years. And now that it's it's no longer there, you don't need them anymore because there's no such thing as a loading screen for the most part. But you were like, well, it's a no-brainer. Add mini games to these things so you can fucking around with something while you're waiting for it to load.
Yeah.
But no one could do it because one fucking company decides to fuck it up for everyone else.
The Nemesis system, which I would be like, I actually think the Nemesis system was probably legit as something to patent, but the fact that Warner Brothers hasn't done anything with it, like that they had this one game with it and then they've just let it languish. So
license that fucking thing out, by the way.
The good news here is that the patent was granted. That doesn't mean it's instantaneously legal.
Yes.
Like you can take them to court, you could fight this shit in court, and you could have this patent basically be like devalued. Like,
man, if I was every gaming company, we're like, we all need to get together and beat up Nintendo. Like, this is some bullshit.
It is some bullshit. But Nintendo has never met a law that they didn't want to exploit to fuck with you. So
and then you got to fight Donkey Kong.
That's right. You got to fight Doug Bowser. How about something that's a little bit better for Pokemon? Pokemon Legends ZA has been doing some weird marketing. Were you on when we saw the horror thing? Yeah. So one of the things that they did, they had another one last week for Malamar, which is like an octopus Pokemon. Apparently on the DS you had to like turn it over in order to evolve it, because then the tentacles that were coming out of its head became like its feet.
That's fucking weird.
It's like weird stalk head became like, you turned upside down and the stalk became tentacles, and then the tentacles at the top kind of became like hair.
That's fucking weird.
Anyway,
that's kind of neat, but weird.
Bunch of weird videos online of like live action people interviewing people like in the street. Who are like, I love Malamar, he's great, and then they had this weird 5-minute video that they put out that's like a news, or actually it's only a minute. It's like this is a different one.
I think it's just the trailer for
that's the trailer.
Malamar.
It's like a news report. That was right there, where it's like somebody talking about like everybody in fucking Emerald Town or whatever has Malamar fever. What's going on? And like it's this whole news story about a Pokemon trainer that accidentally mega evolved their Malamar, and then like these weird things where it's like, oh, here's an artist that they used to just paint their little rat Pokemon, but then like the other day we found them out on the street and they're all like covered in paint and they're crazy and they're like, I love Malamar. Malamar's the best one.
What the fuck?
Like, it's great. Are you taking a picture of me? Take a picture of Malamar. Malamar is great.
Oh my goodness.
Got the crazy eyes. There's another one.
It cuts to the Pokemon being like, what the fuck is going on?
There's another one like a cab driver who's just like covered in Malamar plushies. He's like, oh yeah, man, I love this Malamar guy. And then they have like footage obtained where it's like dash cam footage of the guy in his car. There's like all these weird lights in the background, and you just see like these tentacles come into his car, these weird flashing lights, and it's kind of like that other one where it's like this weird horror thing where it turns out people are being mind controlled by this mega evolution of this weird squid monster.
That's fascinating.
There's one with a guy on like a video call and like it sneaks up behind him, and then the next day he's out on the street and he's got like a Malamar tie-dye shirt on. He's talking about how much he likes it. So I don't know, I've never seen this kind of marketing for a Pokemon game.
Well, Pokemon usually markets to like the Pokemon games nowadays, or not nowadays. Pokemon games in the past, marketing was always like, watch the cartoon and play the game.
Right.
These are like legit. Like we know you guys are adults.
Yeah.
So we're gonna like kind of have some fun with how fucking weird this is.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's fucking crazy.
It's real weird and real ominous too. It's like that last one was real ominous. So.
That's fucking weird.
Let's see. And then we got a couple more Nintendo ones here. You remember at CES when that one accessory manufacturer had like a Switch 2?
Oh, the one that was like causing because they had like they're the ones who accidentally like leaked the idea of it or whatever, right?
Right. So we got the news after the Switch 2 was announced that Nintendo was suing them, their Genki accessories or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we never gave them a Switch 2. And this is not an officially licensed product.
Yeah.
So like the fact that they 3D printed something with the exact dimensions of a Switch 2, they're like, well, you either like got access to our internal documentation or like stole one or like got a leaked dev kit.
You made accessories off of something that you shouldn't have been able to have.
Right.
Like, did you like the only other thing that makes sense is somehow they took pictures of one somewhere.
Maybe it's possible.
Figured out all the measurements off of it.
So yeah, they're ending up. They're paying damages.
That's crazy
over this, and they're also they're not like driving them out of business, but they are like, well, you gotta fucking pay. Like,
yeah, you made us look weird.
Yeah,
you kind of also revealed that this is a thing.
No disclosure as to the amount, but. And then they also said that they, quote, did not obtain access to a Switch 2 before the launch. And it's like, well, then how did you know what the dimensions of the Switch 2 were?
Well, that's the best part is it says Genki attests that they did not obtain access to one, but it also says, but the origins of the 3D printed dummy remain unclear.
Right.
Which is like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. They also said like they had other things, like they had a Genki Direct and the Genki Glitch 2.
Oh god!
And they're like, you can't. That's like too close to the actual name of the thing. Yeah. You can't just use the name of the fucking thing.
Like Glitch 2, you could maybe get away with.
Maybe.
But the second you said Direct,
right,
you fucked the whole thing.
Yeah. So yeah, they're gonna pay, but they're still, still got stuff out there if you want to buy from. Surprisingly, D brand, the way the D brand just slaps their nuts on the table until they get crushed, and then they're like, okay, fine.
And this is exactly the same thing, sort of.
Speaking of get your nuts crushed, Nintendo. Okay, there was a guy. He was running a service. That service was like, send me your Switch and I'll mod it and send it back to you. He was also selling some mod equipment. Nintendo said, you got to shut that shit down. You got to shut all that website. You got to give us your website. You got to shut that shit down. You got to promise us you're not going to do this anymore, or we're going to take you to court. And the guy, Ryan Daly, was like, I will see you motherfuckers in court.
Without a lawyer.
And then it was like, yeah, he didn't have a lawyer. Let me read, like, there was a part of this where he responded to the complaint with no lawyers. He said... to the statement he just wrote, answer, denied. And from this article, Daly added affirmative defenses of the very things he said he didn't do, defenses which included fair use and even accusing Nintendo of a, quote, lack of unclean hands, unquote.
Oh my God.
A legal doctrine that suggests Nintendo had actually had acted unethically or dishonestly. Well,
I'm a citizen of the world, Nintendo.
That's right. Yes, exactly. I'm traveling to the Switch store. It didn't work out. This weekend, Seattle District Court said that he has to pay Nintendo $2 million. He has to give them everything, and he is barred from ever modding another piece of equipment for the rest of his life.
Oh my god!
So, yeah.
Shit. It couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, by the way.
Yeah,
but holy shit, You needed a lawyer minimum for that. Also, they gave you an out.
Yes.
Nintendo hasn't given a lot of these people outs.
Yes.
This is actually one of their nicer attempts. This guy is the one who fucking provoked them.
I mean, Nintendo, if Nintendo comes at you, okay, listen. If you decide that you want to make Metroid Prime as a 2D game and then Nintendo comes at you, I have a little sympathy, all right? Nintendo's not making a 2D Metroid Prime game. It's a fan project. Maybe leave them alone. Maybe leave these motherfuckers alone and let them do whatever. Maybe make them change the name so it's fucking Space Jellyfish 2 Electric Boogaloo, right? Yeah. But when you are I'm going to make a business cracking copy protection on somebody's console, and if you send me their console, I will send it back to you for $250 cracked with some pirated games on it if you want to play those or whatever.
That's probably where you fucked up.
And then when Nintendo comes knocking, you can't just be like, nuh-uh, denied.
Prove it. It's
Nintendo,
we can.
Look at your hands, they're covered in filth. And it's like, no, dude, you broke the law.
Think of all the Goombas you've murdered.
It's like when the ones where the people live streamed their crimes and then they got arrested for it, and it was like, I don't have a lot of sympathy for you because you live streamed your crimes.
And then when you were caught or when you were brought to court, you're like, I don't need a lawyer. I don't need a lawyer against one of the biggest lawyer corporations suing
the most litigious places
people
organizations on the planet. Yeah.
You'd have as much chance as fighting Disney without a lawyer.
Yeah. So sorry, bud. if that's how it worked, I feel like we'd all be in a different scenario. You mentioned it before, but speaking of messy scenarios, the head dude over at IO Interactive was asked about Mind's Eye, well, kind of indirectly over the weekend. And they're basically asked, like, this is with IGN, like, IO is still a thing, but is IO publishing going to be a thing?
Yeah, because they're the ones, they were very adamant that the Hitman would have a lot going on in Mind's Eye.
IOI partners, and the response was, quote, "It wasn't what they hoped for, and also what we didn't hope for at IOI partners. They're working hard on turning that around to regain the trust of gamers out there, and they have tons of potential and content they're working on, so hopefully they'll succeed with that in the future." So will IO Interactive publish our own games internally? Or no? So IO Interactive will publish our own games internally. IOI partners, that remains to be seen. So it is very possible that the horrible failure of Mind's Eye might kill that moving forward. So
I feel bad because it was a great idea.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's find a game that we think is interesting and release it. The way Acclaim was doing, the way Donkey is doing.
Yep.
Like, it's not unheard of. Of
course. And Inner Sloth is doing that. Like,
there's a lot of them, but IO being one of the ones doing it is like a huge deal.
Yep.
And even to the point where they're like, and they will have some Hitman content with it and everything. You're like, that's putting more than just your publishing behind it. They went all in,
and
only to get bitch slapped as hard as possible by the general audiences.
Well, it would also be one thing if Mind's Eye was simply not a good game. But we also had that weird bullshit of the guy in charge being like, the saboteurs are coming for us. I'm not saying that people are being paid to downvote the trailers that we're putting out for our games, but I am saying that.
He also claimed internal sabotage as well.
Yep.
He's like, they're after me.
Yep.
It's like, fucking hell, dude.
You got to take your lumps, man. Like, look at No Man's Sky. You could have worked on that Mind's Eye. I mean, they are still working on it.
Yeah, Mind's Eye could be turned around if somehow.
Sure.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it is possible.
Yeah.
I'm saying that No Man's Sky proved it is possible.
Yes. But not with that attitude.
No. Yeah, if No Man's Sky had the guy, instead of going, look, I'm sorry, I've kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can to fix the game into what you guys thought it would be.
Right.
If he instead was like, fuck all of you.
Yeah.
You all have betrayed me. Like the ending of fucking The Room.
Right.
Tommy Wiseau being like, just fucking yelling at everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course that wouldn't have worked out.
Absolutely. So, I don't know. Did you watch that the James Bond thing last week?
I did.
Looks like Hitman.
It looks like Hitman
with a lot. It looks like Hitman with a canonized part where you get to do plan jump.
That was the thing I was going to say. Yeah, where you're actually allowed to, or where there's actually story moments that have to happen.
Yes, but like I like the part where it's like you do Hitman for a while and like. So Hitman that I recognized the green pipe the dude was climbing up. Like I was like, I've climbed that pipe before.
It looks great though.
I think it
looks fantastic.
As long as they can sort out some of the frame rate, and then there was like a lot of motion blur in the melee parts.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know if that was covering for bad frame rate, right?
That's true.
So, anyway, speaking of crappy frame rates, that's something that Black Ops 6 doesn't have. There's been a big controversy about the skins in Black Ops 6. They put in Beavis and Butthead and American Dad and all that stuff. The players are not. There's a contingency of people that do not like that.
Yes.
And so they announced a few weeks back that they were going to be not moving skins from Black Ops 6 forward into Black Ops 7. Well, this week they announced that they are putting like these zombies skins moving forward from Black Ops 6 into Black Ops 7, as well as one other thing. I have to be honest with you, Michael, I don't understand a lot of the stuff about this because the internal jargon of Call of Duty is so fucking specialized that I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that mode is.
No.
But it appears that some skins from Black Ops 6 will be moving forward, which has now made people very upset because there's a lot of people who are like, why don't you just bring forward the non-American Dad and Beavis and Butthead skin? Bring over the ones that look all edgy and military, right? Like,
or the ones that aren't like fully cartoony.
Yeah.
'Cause some of them are like still like normal people wearing like heavy armor.
I saw this article. Look at this fucking killer shark. This is just fucking Call of Duty Killer Shark. Like, he's just a shark man.
A tuxedo that's ripped.
Stupid. I mean, you're still going to be able to, even in Black Ops 7, you're going to be able to use all the skins in Warzone, right? But there's probably a difference to be split between like bringing over a few skins to make your customer happy, but then by the same token, if you only bring over some skins, you know there's going to be some group of people who have the fucking shark in a tuxedo skin who are like, but that was my favorite. Why aren't you bringing over the tuxedo shark? Like,
that's the problem with making these decisions like this, is that if you make it one, it's either all of them or nothing.
Yep.
And because people are like, well, I paid the money for this. It's frustrating to me that I can't be cheat schmitting in a fight, but I can be like generic man number 5,
sure,
because you figured that was more realistic, quote unquote, to come over. Where there's another guy who's probably has the other thing where he's like, I want to be Stan Smith, and yell out random quotes from American Dad while murdering people outside of Warzone.
Yeah.
And then
I just want to yell out Chad Lowe every time I kill somebody.
Every time I knife somebody, I can be like Rob Lowe, Chad Lowe, like just like like I get it, but like and it's all because like some people were vocal and they're like, I don't like that Call of Duty is now not my dude bro realistic army military shooter, and it's
there's a equal group of people who respond, I don't care, I want to be fucking Roger.
And
like,
it's frustrating because I get it.
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I get it, because it's like, but those people are usually vocal, are usually the minority of this sort of thing.
Yep.
If anything, the general audience is gonna once they find out, they're gonna be just as annoyed as anybody else,
or they won't care, or this is a whole thing is a storm in a teacup. So
I think it's just Activision and the developers going, people say they don't want to bring everything. That means that I don't have to do as much work, and I can make this game come out less buggy instead of just having to do it for everything.
Agreed. All right. Lightning round time. We're going to go through the rest of these. Randy Pitchford did a stupid thing. Apparently, if you buy Borderlands 4 in the Epic Games Store, you get a special Mad Moxie skin for Fortnite.
Yes, early, because I think eventually she's going to be on the store or something.
Yes. Randy Pitchford noted that there was one of the guys from Borderlands was a skin, and the people had sold that skin for like a lot of money, and he's like, all right, so maybe you buy it on Epic Games Store and then you sell that skin, and like maybe the whole thing pays for itself. And people were like, Randy, you can't sell skins.
Yeah.
And so people get around that by selling entire accounts. And if you're caught doing that, that account gets banned for life. Like, what you're actually telling people to do is against the terms of service of Epic, and they police it, like, to make sure that it doesn't happen. Yeah. So, Randy, shut up! Just shut up already!
Randy doesn't know what other games do. That's clearly what's happened here.
Just shut your fucking mouth, Randy.
He's such an idiot.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, speaking of making some weird money moves, Vampire the Masquerade the Bloodlines 2 had that thing with the fact that they were paywalling some of the factions behind the collector's edition.
That's right, yeah.
They have reversed course on that. They said September 17th they're making an announcement. As a preamble to that, they just refunded every single person on the PlayStation Store who bought the collector's edition. We don't know what the details of the resolution are.
What's that mean?
But they were just like, we're giving you back your money, and if you want to buy after the announcement is made, if you want to repurchase it, you can. But there's probably going to be, they're probably taking those things out.
Yeah.
So then is the collector's edition worth the $80?
Like, what else was part of it that would make it worth that much?
Skins.
And even then, like,
skins for weapons and characters.
Maybe they'll add something else to it.
Maybe. We'll have to find out.
Extra currency, I guess.
Here's a fun developer story. It turns out that when Grand Theft Auto 6 was pushed to next year, that the entire Sucker Punch studio got fucking annihilated. They said they celebrated so hard, they said they are still hungover today because they were in the blast zone. They were October 2nd, and if it was going to be in the fall, like,
that was going to be a hell of a battle, by the way.
Ghost of Yotai is sitting in the blast zone, and I mean, Grand Theft Auto 6 is probably going to win. It's probably going to win.
100%.
It's the fucking One Punch Man of the video game industry.
They were the underdogs in that one, but they would have done decently, but they would not have made as much.
It just would have cut a lot of the sales potential. So,
it would have been bad. It would have been brutal.
Which I like that as a story of just like, they were just like, yeah!
They're like, yeah, we stared into the abyss and it blinked.
Yep.
And we're like, yes, we have won.
Wolfenstein developers Machine Games, now that they're done with the Indiana Jones, has come back and they said, not much, but they were talking about Wolfenstein and said, quote, we have always seen this as a trilogy. And that they have another story for BJ Blazkowicz after Wolfenstein 2 The New Order, so we might be finally getting another Wolfenstein proper.
I'm shocked that it took this long, because, like, you know, that series did super... Like, it did better than anyone expected. Because Wolfenstein, prior to that, they had attempted another reboot for the...
it was an idtech,
the 360 PS3 era, and I didn't hear anybody talk about that game all that much when it came out.
I played it.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like, yeah, this is fine, I guess.
Yep.
And then was it just called the New Order, the original one?
I believe the first one was called the New Colossus.
Yeah, and it's just fucking annihilated. It caught everyone the fuck off guard.
No, it was the New Order.
So it was the New Order. But it caught everyone off guard because it did something way different with it and played really well.
Yeah.
And so with that and the second one, and then they made the DLC that's also can be bought separately as well.
Old Blood, and then there was Young Blood, which was the
the ones
arcane...
the ones up until Young Blood were very well received.
Yes.
Young Blood's the only one that wasn't very well received.
I like Young Blood.
And then there was the VR one that also wasn't like super well received either.
Yep.
But that's the thing was like they had reinvigorated the IP for Wolfenstein.
Yep.
The same way Doom did, and Doom has consistently been striking while it's hot. I just thought it was weird that Wolfenstein just was like, we made a second one and everybody loved it, and then they just went straight into Indiana Jones and they didn't try to have another team making some type of Wolfenstein thing in the meantime.
I mean, I bet they had a secondary team that did the VR game in Youngblood, because Youngblood was mostly arcane with Machine Games as an assist, right?
No, but I mean, like starting like a sequel,
right?
Just like a little bit by bit, so they don't have to like.
Sure. Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe they have been. Maybe they've got the whole thing all plotted out. And they just have to start production on it.
That's true. So
we wouldn't know.
I'm very curious to see how that series finally ends.
And then let's finish up with a trio of movie and TV stories. Michael, I'm curious to know what you think. The full Street Fighter movie cast is out.
Yeah.
We got the full... I don't know if I want to go through all these people. I don't know who half these people are. Andrew Koji.
Because I looked over some of these and I'm like, I have no idea who any of you people are.
I mean, I know Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is Guile. I know Jason Momoa is Blanc and 50 Cent is Balrog.
Such an interesting choice.
I know the weird one about David Destamagalian or whatever, the Polka Dot Man is M. Bison. I don't recognize a lot of these. Roman Reigns is Akuma. I was interested because, like, the fact that Dan Hibiki is in the game.
It made me very interested in that Dan Hibiki was going to be a part of the movie.
And then we've got Eric Andre as Don Savage, which apparently is like a background character in Balrog stage.
Yeah, he's just some guy in the background.
But then, so we've got, but then also down here at the bottom, we've got Julie. Who's like another one of the cameo
one of the dolls,
forces.
Yeah.
And then I don't know who this Joe dude is. Like,
so Joe, I think, is the guy in the intro of the Street Fighter 2.
Oh, that punches the other
guy.
The guy with his back to the camera.
If I recall, that's who Joe is.
Okay,
because he has a name. I just don't remember if that's Joe or not.
I'm sure that a lot of these people are like professional fighters, right? So,
some of them are professional fighters, and some of them are just like actors that are good at fighting.
Yeah,
like I know, because I looked up the Ryu guy, and he's like, he's like really good at fighting, so that's one of the reasons they got him. But I think 50 Cent is the only one I'm like, that's a weird choice. But if anybody can play a dumb, weird guy, it's probably 50 Cent, ironically.
So I don't know. What do you put on the what do you give the odds of this one being?
I don't know, because it's half kind of interesting actors, half Scorpion King sequel actors,
right?
Type thing. So I generally don't know.
Maybe
I would love to be like, well, this is going to be better than the the Jean-Claude Van Damme one. I don't know.
Maybe it's gonna be on par with the Jean-Claude Van Damme one.
Might.
Like
it might, because some of these people, I'm not gonna say that 50 Cent's a great actor.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna say that the guy who played Polka Dot's not a good actor.
I don't see him as an M. Bison, but then I didn't see Raul Julia as an M. Bison either. So.
And it depends on if he like bulks up for it or something too.
They put him in a big suit.
Yeah, like what. It all depends on what these guys will look like when they're in outfit, I guess.
Yeah, because I also have a hard time with Jason Momoa's Blanca. Like Jason Momoa is tall, but he's also lanky.
Huge. Yeah,
he's lanky. Like he's not. Blanca's like stout.
He's a stout guy who's like always like kind of slouched.
Right.
Whereas Jason Momoa is fucking Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
is the only way I could put it. He is a tall motherfucker.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how that's going to work. This is like the ultimate like mishmash of like, this could go either way.
Yeah.
It really could. Until I see a trailer, I think that's probably what would show the indication of it.
I agree. And you know what? Last but not least, we got the note that Life is Strange on Amazon show is under production.
Every lesbian I know on Facebook got so excited. And also all of the goth ones, too.
Yeah. The weird thing is everybody is involved with this except for the people that made the game.
Really?
Yes.
That's shocking.
Like, there's a lot of, like, producers and different, Story Kitchen is involved, like his production thing. They did the Tomb Raider show.
This happens with a lot of adaptations, though.
Lucky Chap that was behind like Saltburn and Barbie, and Charlie Covell, which was behind that Chaos series on Netflix. And there's a tweet out there. There's like the only people who are not involved are the actual creators, because there's like all these production studios and like big announcements of stuff. So I don't know.
Maybe they're still mad about what happened with Chloe or whatever.
Oh yeah, in the sequel. Yeah.
Was that who it was? I don't even remember who's who anymore.
I never.
But everyone was upset about that.
I never knew. So. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we have a bunch more trailers. So stick around, and we'll see you in just a minute. And we're back! And that means it's time for more trailers.
Yes, sir, Bobby, or whatever.
Yep. Our first thing this week is Elden Ring Night Rain just put out a big update because they're getting ready for their new Deep of Night mode.
Is this the mode that everyone will love now? Sorry, I know a lot of people like Night Rain right at the moment.
Well, it's weird. They said Night Rain sold like 5 million copies. I think
that's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Any other company would love that.
Yeah. I mean, the DLC for Elden Ring sold 10. I never got back into this, but this is like so this is the hard mode for the game.
The hard mode
that I can't actually beat, where you just play it over and over again, and then like as you hit certain limits, you go down a level. So if you beat like level 1, then you go down a level, and then it gets harder, and it goes all the way to like 5.
Oh, okay.
There's all these new, like, there's new items that have both like incredibly powerful bonuses, but then also like drawbacks. Like they'll put negative modifiers on you as well.
That's crazy.
There's like all these different things about how you won't even know what boss it's going to be, so you can't build towards a boss.
Oh.
There's these new types of enemies in the game that take like way more hits than like the standard enemies, that drop like new types of loot. Basically, the whole thing is just, like once an online game has been out for long enough and people have really gotten the meta for it down, now you're going to throw out, because at first they were adding in these like nightmare mode bosses. Like they took the bosses and they tweaked them up to be even harder, and now they've got this new mode that's just like
it's just random
stendo mode, right? That goes even further and hits even harder than everything else. And you know what? I hope that everybody has a really good time playing this. I will not be playing this. I can't even I could never beat the regular mode. I spent like 3 days trying to beat just one boss, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, well.
Did you have friends with you?
Sometimes.
Okay, that's what I was curious about.
But it wasn't for me. Like it's the thing is that it's the style of FromSoft game that I'm not into, which is like very technically demanding, very unforgiving, and then like if you get to the Well, it's easier than that, Michael. There's no build control.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
like,
you can't like build the way that you would want to normally.
Yes,
you're just sort of at the mercy of what the game's willing to give you.
Yes, and you know what? I bet if I went back and played it, that I would probably be able to beat it with even randos because people are so good at the meta of
at
it
this
now.
point. Yeah,
like
because this was beginning of the year.
Yes, it was earlier this year. I think it was in Aprilish or something
Like that.
But you know, it's just not what I'm looking for. Which is, you know. There's other FromSoft games that I'm not like a FromSoft fanboy. I like them as a company, but I don't like every single thing they make. Like,
well, that's the thing. Every series we've always loved. There's always some game in that we're like, that's the one I've done the least of.
Yeah.
Either never beaten or just never really. Even when I did beat it, I never went back to it, type of thing.
Yes. So
like for some reason, that's Metal Gear Solid 2 for me. As much as I love the Metal Gear Solid series, I've only beaten Metal Gear Solid 2 twice.
Oh,
whereas
really?
every other one I've beaten like 6 or 7 times. Minimum.
I think that was like, I had that game for the PS2, and it was funny. I got that game when I bought my PS2. Mm-hmm. I got a PS2 for Christmas, and I asked specifically for Metal Gear Solid 2, and then I sat down and I beat Metal Gear Solid 2 in like 2 days, and then I returned it, and I traded it for Grand Theft Auto 3. I'll be honest, I played a lot more Grand Theft Auto 3 than I played Metal Gear Solid 2.
That's fair, though.
But then when Substance came out, I did go back to it, and I skateboarded. I fucking ground the big shell like crazy. I was so good at that skateboarding minigame. Like, I never played Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but man.
I was terrible at Tony Hawk.
Me and Snake and the Big Shell. Anyway, again, this is a great platform for them, and I hope that it continues to be a thing that people enjoy. Just because it's not my thing doesn't mean that like I can't be happy for other people to like a video game.
Yeah, because people like this game. It's not like this is the worst game ever made, and you guys should be ashamed of yourselves,
right,
for even liking it. I'm like, no, it's just not for me.
It's just not for me.
That's how I feel about Silksong. It's how I feel about fucking a lot of games.
I mean, you know, and there's a very good possibility that next year we'll be getting another Armored Core, and if that happens, I will be very, 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 very happy, and I will play the ever-loving shit out of it. Or we could get another Armored Core, and it could be bad.
I'm still waiting for another Metal Wolf Chaos.
Or the Blood Joneses,
the Switched one,
the blood fiends, the blood mongers.
I don't even remember what it was. Yeah,
blood, something about blood.
I know it has the word blood in it.
Yeah.
We need Bloodborne though. We need more Bloodborns.
I don't even want more Bloodborne. So like I actually want them.
I just like that fucking like atmosphere. I want another game like that.
The kind of gothic,
I love that shit.
stuff. Yeah, that was
the only one of those Souls games I beat.
I want FromSoft to do something else because Elden Ring was such an interesting amalgamation of concepts. I want, if they have to go back to the well, I want them to pick like Otogi or like Dark Tower or a new Kingsfield. Oh. I think a new Kingsfield in 2026, 2027, that'd be a fucking trip and a half. Like, fuck you guys, we're back into first person.
That would be pretty fun.
Melee.
I'd play that. I absolutely would play that.
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of weird Japanese games, we got a really brief announcement. Digimon Storytime Stranger. Digimon Story Time Stranger. Not Digimon Storytime Stranger. Digimon Story Time Stranger. Has a demo out on the PS5.
Oh, fun.
Last week we had a big story trailer for Digimon Story.
You were very excited by that story trailer.
I was. This then poured some cold water on it because this trailer has a lot of Digimon in it, and like the epic, interesting time travel reality warping story. I forgot that you have to like have a cartoon dinosaur with you while
that's the thing.
That's what
when you were like, this looks really cool. I'm like, you do. I almost when I forgot to say it. Where I'm like, well, you do remember that you still have to have the Digimon to fight,
right?
Type of thing. As much as there's some like really cool realistic Digimon, they usually don't look like that until they transform.
Yeah, but half the Digimon look like they could be in a Final Fantasy game, and half of them look like Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want the Pokemon part. I want it to be realistic looking.
Like some of my favorite are kind of a fusion of the two. Like War Greymon is like the kind of like he's kind of Final Fantasy, but he's clearly like whatever that Pokemon is thing, looking more serious. Yeah. But then you'll have ones that are like that just looks like a supervillain from Final Fantasy, and then but his original like version of whoever that is like a fucking pig-looking thing or something.
Right.
That's like you're like you came out of a Looney Tunes
with
cartoon,
googly eyes on the side.
Yeah. Like one of my favorite examples. There's a guy called Angemon.
Yeah.
He looks like this buff fucking angel, but when he's in his like other form, he's this little fucking pig-looking thing with wings on his ears, and you're just like, that guy turns into Angemon.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the story will be good, and I'll get into it. This will be when I finally.
I don't know how else to describe it. I know you guys are like, he doesn't look like a pig, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll check out the demo.
I say try it. Go for it. Maybe you will like it. You get past the weirdness that is Digimon.
Perhaps. Maybe. Let's see. We also got the launch trailer for Demon Ex Machina Titanic Scion. It's funny, Michael. The more I look at this game, the less I like it. I don't know. It reminds me a lot of like one of those. God, what are those? What are those fucking Nintendo games that have the robots in them? I
don't remember.
Fuck. With the guy, it was like Smash Brothers guys.
The Xenogears,
Xenoblade
Chronicles. Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that, where it's all like really generic, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, the problem with these is that when they were first making these, all we saw were really cool robots.
Yeah.
And we're like, wow, that could be really cool. I love giant robots.
Yeah.
And then you play the game, you're like, oh, this is not what I thought it was at all.
I think it's just that the world looks really dull. Like everything is gray and green and gray.
And the robot stuff isn't all that interesting even when it happens.
And from what I can tell, it seems like the robots, it's not like it's like an anthem. It's like a suit.
Yeah.
And then you can like summon a big robot, but that like your quote unquote giant robot is mostly just like a big power armor suit. So I don't know.
It's been one of the most disappointing IPs that started. Because the first time they ever showed it, I'm like, this could be really cool. And if this is really great, I would love to play more of these. And then it came out, and not a single person I knew liked it.
It was more. Well, it was a lot more like EDF.
Yeah.
Than like Armored Core, right?
Exactly. And even less than fun than EDF was.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating how much like these designs are wasted on this game.
And you know what the other thing is, Michael, is that there are a lot of $70 video games out right now.
Yes.
And I don't think that I want to spend $70 on this game. Like, I think I've bought enough $70 video games. Like, I was looking at that Lost Soul Aside game came out. I was looking at the schedule, and I'm like, I just don't think I want to play this. Like, I don't think I want to spend full price on this. I don't know. Maybe someday this will go on sale. I'll play it. We'll have a, like, I was wrong about Demon Ex Machina video.
I would love to be wrong about this.
But it also looks like a really generic anime game.
Well, even more than the first one did.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe. We got, speaking of weird robotic futures, we got this is interesting. This is the live action trailer for Chronos: The New Dawn, launching on the Switch 2. So I think it's been a while since I've seen one of these where it's like this lady playing Chronos: The New Dawn, and she looks like she's in a fun Switch 2 commercial.
It does.
But then like the game itself is all weird and gross and like futuristic.
And she doesn't look like she's reacting the way she's supposed to.
Well, but then like as she keeps playing it, like the room she's in turns from a Switch room into like a Resident Evil room or like a Silent Hill room. Like the lights go out and things get weirder, and like she's like got a worried look on her face. Like there's no families having fun with their Switch 2 in this ad. Paul Rudd is not here at all.
She's also playing it in handheld the whole way through.
Yeah.
Which is also an interesting choice.
Yeah. I've actually been playing Chronos. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it before I get into something else.
It still looks really cool.
It's been pretty interesting so far. It's a little bit of a grind.
Oh, it shows that it's got the mouse aiming thing.
Oh yeah, you can use the mouse, the Joy-Cons in mouse mode. And then it starts getting all over the place. So I don't know. Go watch the dojos that Tessa and I did for this, because it seems like an interesting. I don't know. I like the vibe, even if I'm not entirely sold on the gameplay. Yeah,
that was the thing about the trailer. Every trailer, like, this just looks like it could be an interesting story minimum.
Yeah,
and that actually can take you a far way, even if the gameplay isn't perfect.
Absolutely. Let's see. Speaking of horror games, we got the release date trailer for Forgive Me Father 2 on the PlayStation.
I really liked the game that when we tried it.
Yeah, I think I played the second.
We played the first one.
You and I played the first one. I think I played the second one with John.
I think so.
When it was in early access, but
it's just like I really like the way it looks. This one looks a lot even better than the first one.
It's kind of like boomer shooter plus Cthulhu plus weirdness. Yeah, September 23rd. It's coming out on the PS5. So
nice.
Yeah, pretty cool. We got some more horror stuff that came out last week. We got the gameplay trailer for a game called Living Hell. This appears to be the next kind of Lethal Company repo online multiplayer.
Did we see a trailer for this before? We did, right?
I don't know. Maybe
I remember us talking about something like this. I don't know if it was this one specifically.
I don't know, man. But if that fucking spider guy wasn't in the, I don't remember that spider guy until today, and I feel like that would have haunted my nightmares.
No, it does. It's a crazy design because it's not just a spider guy. It's got two heads.
Yeah,
one on each side.
Yeah,
which is fucking weird.
So yeah, this is kind of like PSX, slightly lo-fi, 3D. And you're going through kind of like a ruined world trying to get, I think it's like data. And it's one of these online games that you're going to play with a bunch of other people. I love these things. I'm glad this is a new genre. And this looks like a weird one. It looks like Lethal Company, but in Raccoon City.
Which is a really fun idea.
Yeah. And
honestly, that's kind of what people were hoping some of these games could turn to eventually. And I just think it's really cool. And that this specific genre can be done in every possible way.
Yeah, being
kind of cartoony but serious, but serious but kind of cartoony.
Right.
And this one seems to be just deadly serious.
Just
and I think that's just really fun.
Big horror vibes.
Yeah, and I can see a lot of people playing this on Twitch or something and having fun with it.
Absolutely. So, and also I love the monsters. The monsters are all real weird and gross looking.
Yeah,
I like them.
They're clearly mutated things, and enough that enough that you can maybe figure out what they might have been before they got mutated.
Yeah,
and I like designs like that make you even fucks with your head even further that way.
Yep. No release date or release window or anything. Just wish list now. So
it looks great.
Yeah, I think it looks great. Can't wait.
Hopefully it plays well.
Yeah. Pigface got an early access trailer. I think we saw this on one of the Summer Games Fest ones, where it's this real lo-fi,
oh yeah, we did,
assassination kind of thing that looks like Rainbow Six meets that.
Because it was a trailer park assassin game.
Yeah, but real violent and weird and gross, and I'm totally into it. Reminds me of that Children of the Sun or whatever, that Devolver game with the sniper thing, except that this is you're going over and blasting on people.
I remember you explained this to me, and I'm like, this sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
In this trailer, they have the whole thing where it's you've got a bomb in your head, and you're being forced to do these contracts. So, but yeah, looks a lot like if Puppet Combo made Rainbow Six.
Yeah, it's pretty fun looking.
And that's actually going into early access on September 18th, so you don't have to wait that long. Another Dread XP. I've been liking the stuff that Dread XP has been putting out. Let's see. Speaking of spooky stuff, Pacific Drive is getting an actual expansion, not just add-on content, but a full-on expansion called Whispers in the Woods. It's an interesting interview that I read with the creative director, where this one is really leaning into the horror or kind of horror theme, because Pacific Drive didn't necessarily have monsters.
Well, it was more of science fiction gone wrong type of thing. It wasn't but not in the horror sense.
Yes.
There was some horror to it feeling, but it was more just what has science wrought.
This one, even this trailer, is very themed, weird in the woods horror. Apparently there's going to be there's a cult that worships the anomalies that's out there. There's going to be new the big I forget what they call it, the big light in the sky that you go into. There's different types of missions that will give you artifacts with different potential that have both positive and negative effects. The one that they point out is it could make it so that it's got some kind of bonus, but every time you jump, your horn honks,
Oh yeah.
And then like maybe there's a second one that's like every time your horn honks, you take damage.
Oh geez.
So like
so it'll really fuck you over. Type of
yeah,
thing.
if you're not paying attention, you get real messed up.
Do you think you'll go back to it for it?
Probably not. I really like Pacific Drive, and I do like the idea of new story content because I like the story of Pacific Drive quite a bit. I just don't know if I'm like, it depends on really when it comes out.
Okay.
Because if there's anything else around, like if it's in the middle of a complete dead zone, maybe. But
okay, that makes sense.
I put my time in that game. I really liked it. Like,
no, you really liked it.
Really enjoyed it. It wasn't a super long game either. So.
And then the one time you died is when you were showing me something.
Yes,
it was the funniest fucking thing. Like, I've never died in this game.
I haven't died.
Then you died immediately, showing it to me within 10 minutes.
Yep, completely got fucked up. So coming this year. Which means that probably I'm not going to play it because the rest of this year is packed to the gills.
It's going to be very packed soon.
Speaking of driving, Garfield Kart 2 All You Can Drift came out last week, Michael.
Your favorite character, Jeff.
I like Garfield.
I like Garfield too. I've always liked Garfield.
If it came down to this or that Sonic racing game that's coming out later this month, I'd rather play Garfield Racing with
I don't know if that's true.
John and Nermal and fucking... all the rest of the Garfield gang.
I haven't read Garfield in a long time.
Yeah,
and it's more because I feel like Garfield's just not as funny as it used to be. Because there was at least a little stupid edge to the original stuff.
Oh sure,
but I feel like as he's gotten older, he's gotten a little lazier.
Well, that's when you switch to Garfield without Garfield.
That's true.
The John Arbuckle is a crazy man comic.
Those are still really fun, by the way. And then there's also the
like cosmic horror.
The cosmic horror Garfield's also really fun.
I'm not as big a fan of that one.
Well, it's because some of them are fun.
Yeah.
And some of them are just like ridiculous. Like the one that always makes me laugh is the one where he's like a cosmic horror Garfield. But then he's like, wait, John, you're sick. I need like, and he like helps him out. It's like a sweet ending. And you're like, oh, fucking weird.
Yeah. Garfield Kart 2, All You Can Drift, available now. Go get it. Who needs to be playing these Metal Gears and these Chronoses?
You got Garfield,
Ghosts of Yotei. You could be racing as Arlene.
I wonder if John married the vet yet. I know they started dating finally.
Oh, I don't know.
I bet you they have now.
Still one of the most interesting things on the internet. If you take a Garfield comic and you just remove Garfield from the comic, it just does. It still has value somehow. But it's just a weirder thing.
You're watching a man slowly lose his mind. Is what ends up happening.
Yep.
And it's so funny because of it.
Yep. Let's see. Michael, for you, I put in the announcement Superman DLC for Minecraft. So one of the little like Minecraft like little worlds where you can do a little adventure. This is based on the new movie, so you've got like the Fortress of Solitude, you've got Metropolis, and a little you got to rescue people and fight like that big weird guy from the movie.
This is the fucking monkey's paw.
Yeah,
for me, we're like, I want a Superman game. I don't care what it is. And some motherfucker was like, here you go, you motherfucker. It's like, fuck.
It's Minecraft.
Because I know you could get the outfits like for free and like whatever that one thing was. I don't remember the name of it. It's some specific like mode thing. I forgot it was. It's the one where you get like you also do the McDonald's ones for that in that spot too. I forgot what it was.
I don't know.
But this is like a whole thing. Like this isn't just the skins. Like this is Superman powers, Superman boss fights and stuff.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy.
Yep. Do you think you would play it?
I kind of want to. Just because I want something Superman related.
I feel like every time I bring you over here and I'm just like, hey, how about this Dragon Ball game? And you're like, oh, that's the one I don't like. And then I'm like, let's play it. And you're like, oh, I actually do kind of like that.
Turns out it's free and it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I have to be honest. When I watched this trailer, I was like, I don't know. That seems pretty cool to me.
Yeah, it is actually pretty cool.
Having a fun time rescuing.
Although the funniest thing is that like I know it's Minecraft and everything has to be square, but it accidentally makes it look like you're in Bizarro World.
I like the fact that the citizens are the pigmen from Minecraft. We got the launch trailer for Baki Hanma Blood Arena.
I forgot about this one.
This is coming out, I think, like tomorrow is the day we're recording this.
This looks really cool though, because of what they decided to do with it.
Because it's just fucking Punch Out.
Yeah.
And like, why don't we have a new Punch Out game, Nintendo? Come on, Nintendo.
You can't even buy that last remake they did to this day.
Yeah.
Because they took it off of when the Wii U store had closed.
Like, well, we gave you ARMS. It's like, yeah, that wasn't the same thing.
Yeah, no one cares about ARMS.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I got to figure out a place to put this because this looks like the perfect version of an anime game. Even though, I don't know. I was thinking to myself, like, would I want Baki to be anything more than this? And I'm like, probably not.
Well, that's the thing. Baki is such a unique anime that I don't think it could just be an arena fighter type of thing.
Yeah, it's probably not like there's probably not enough like motion in the fights of Baki for that.
Which is why this works better in my opinion. So it looks kind of fun.
It also looks like ridiculous.
It does.
Which is what I need more than anything about when it comes to Baki, because Baki's fucking ridiculous. He's the most jacked up muscle men that have ever existed in the history of all mankind.
I also don't think that would like translate into 3D very well.
Yes.
I think that's the reason this works better, because everything is very 2D looking.
Actually, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. From there, we got the DLC launch trailer for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 Legacy of the Forge. It's the second of the 3 DLCs they promised. This one's pretty big because you find like a broken down forge and you basically rebuild it, and then it becomes like a place where you get a house that you can decorate and do stuff with.
Type thing.
Yeah. And everything about it looks really good. It's funny though because I just don't know if I want to go back to the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 averse after like 200 hours in there.
Yeah, and then this isn't just going back. This is a lot of grinding type things to make your forge better.
Yeah, even though I was a little mad that Henry is a blacksmith and like the maxed out like I don't know, it always felt like the weapons I could make were like okay. And I was like, well, why can't I make like really good ones?
Well, it turns out maybe you can now, but way after the fact.
But part of this too is it looks like there's some interesting quests. Like there's like a clock that you have to fix in the town. They bring you in to help fix with that. So some interesting characters. I don't know. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I'm going to be interested to see if that shows up in Game of the Year discussion.
I'm curious too, actually,
because it was a really good game. It was an excellent game.
It was the talk of the town for a while.
Yep. But it's so far away.
Yeah.
It's so far away now. Yeah. So, yep. Let's see. Baby Steps put out a really weird trailer called the official Milk Breast Slide trailer. There's like a giant boob that's got milk coming out of it, and then the main character just falls and slips in milk for like all the way down a mountain.
Oh my goodness.
That is the entirety of the trailer, reminding you that Baby Steps is coming out on September 23rd.
And it's going to be weird as shit.
I don't know what's happening here. I did play the demo. Still don't know what's happening, even though this lines up with what I know about Baby Steps. So, yeah.
It seems like it's just a shortcut to get down easily.
Maybe.
In the creepiest way possible.
I have no idea. I don't even know why they're up there. It was kind of weird because, like, we just walked around the demo of Baby Steps. Like, a lot of the objectives were not clear to us. So...
it's so weird.
Yeah.
Baby Steps.
September
23rd.
The Sims 4 put out a new expansion called Adventure Awaits. One part of this was a really weird one where you can now make an imaginary friend. Like you can turn these little like guys into crazy weird imaginary friends when they're like child Sims.
That's kind of creepy.
There's like a few to choose from, and then apparently like once your Sim gets older, they can either dismiss, they can like say goodbye to your imaginary friend and then they go away forever, or apparently there's some kind of option they showed this trailer which is like believing your friend so hard they become an actual person.
Oh my goodness.
In which case they become another Sim that you can...
I'm guessing that's the one that says friends to the end as the option.
Yeah. But some of these imaginary friends are kind of horrifying looking.
Offer to make real.
And then the imaginary friend
turns into a normal guy.
Turns into a guy, and it's like, oh, okay. The other half of this is a giant new system where you can create like event areas.
Oh, okay.
Like it starts with a summer camp, but it's got like a summer camp and then like an activity center, and then there's one that literally is like Love Island, where it's like a game show.
Love Island is what it says.
Yeah, where people can get like voted off.
That's crazy.
And apparently, like, there's like you can set a number of events and you set staff to it, and then people can go and they can do stuff. So there's a bunch of pre-made ones, but you can also just make your own.
Then throw them in there.
You could designate an area, choose the activities, choose the rules, set it all up, and then see how it works with the Sims. I wish I had more interest in playing The Sims because I would love to make like fucking the Great RageSelect Bake Off or something and put all the RageSelect Sims in it.
That would be fun.
Because they literally at the end of here, they show like when they're talking about you could make your own thing. One of the things they make is literally the Great British Bake Off. It's like and they call it the Great Gibby Bake Off. So yeah. I don't know.
All I know is that if the imaginary friend update has a freaky Fred option, or what was his name? No, Drop Dead Fred. Has a Drop Dead Fred option, then I would play that.
Yeah. They also have there's like a Survivor one they show where it's like basically Survivor, but there's like a vampire on the island.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's really fun.
What reality show would you put RageSelect Cast on? This is just the world's most boring Jersey Shore, the Austin Shore boring edition, the Real World. I mean, the Real World.
The Real World would be pretty funny. That would be really funny, or the fucking Road Rules or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think things would get really weird if it was like The Bachelor.
No, yeah, The Bachelor would be very weird.
So
it would be using the zip line too much.
I think we have to. I do think a Great British Bake Off would be interesting.
That would be the funniest one, because not all of us know how to cook correctly.
Yeah.
So
what if it was just Jason and me as the Paul Hollywood
as the host,
and what's her face? Jason could be Paul Hollywood. I'll be the lady. It'll be fine. We also got, speaking of like cozy games, Little Problems, a cozy detective game. I like this because it is basically just Golden Idol with lower stakes.
Oh,
kind of like Duck Detective, but this is like where is my earring? Who took it? And you have to do the whole thing where you fill out the Mad Libs like you do in Golden Idol.
Yeah, because you're figuring out like the series of events.
Yeah,
the same way.
Got a bunch of little anime people having little adventures and stuff. I'm glad to see this particular gameplay trope. Every time I see it, I'm like, yes.
It's a fun trope. The first time we ever ran into something similar was the Return of the Obra, but that one was like really difficult.
Oh,
because of like having to figure, because it was a much more detective-y than even the other ones were.
Yeah, but and this is already out. You can go buy this right now on Steam. So there you go. Let's see. We got the launch trailer shifting entirely to something completely different. Shoot and Order.
Oh, this one
came out, launched last week, which is the weird Danganronpa kind of ish game where it's like 5 of those different types of games. So there's like a detective game, an escape room game, a romance game, and then like 2 other types, and you have to choose which ones you go through. You have like 4 days to solve your own murder because you're dead, but the gods brought you back to life. Strange concept. Has gotten good reviews so far.
That's good, because we were very interested in how that worked.
Yeah. Also just very striking art style.
Yeah.
Like very weirdly neon accents and I don't know. I'm generally speaking, I'm kind of like hit or miss with this type of thing, but I like the idea of changing up the type of game a lot.
That's what really separates it from a lot of the other ones that try to just be Danganronpa.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we were even interested in the idea to begin with.
Yeah. So I don't know. Let's see if we can find a place for that one too. Let's see. From there, we got the release date trailer. I mean, I think we already... Actually, did we know the release date of Mina the Howler yet?
I think there was one... Oh, I think it was just like...
I think it was a release window.
Yeah, release window is what we knew.
Yeah, so we got a full-on release trailer for Mina the Hollower, release date trailer, and it's coming... was it October 31st? Halloween.
Okay, a Halloween game.
So... I don't remember if we knew that or not, but...
No, I think we just knew like fall or whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was that. I can't wait for Mina the Hollower. It's so weird because if you looked at the trailer for Mina the Hollower, it looks like a lot of the games that I was crapping on at the beginning of just like pixel art top down. But you know, Yacht Club ain't done me fucking wrong.
Well,
so.
Also, it just looks like a fun time.
Yes.
The other ones look too generic and just not anything going on in them.
Right.
Where this just looks like a really fun game.
Yeah. So yeah. got something to play for Halloween this year. This will be like I don't know. Every Halloween, I keep wondering if it's possible for me to just have the Asylum. And then every Halloween, something comes out.
Yeah.
When around that same time, and it's like, well, fuck. so I got to double up.
Maybe one of these days. But it's. I don't see it happening again this year.
Yeah, probably not. And then last but not least, Michael, I don't know if this is interesting to you or not, but the Bubsy The Perfect Collection came out.
I did hear about this, and it made me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, you love Bubsy, right? So you bet, like, the way you love Gex, we get all the Bubsy games. It's like, oh.
Yep.
I feel like I was just like, I don't want these.
Bubsy 1, Bubsy 2, Bubsy 2 Portable, Bubsy and Fractured Furry Tales, and Bubsy 3D.
You're welcome to my Bubsy games, friend.
Yeah.
I don't want these.
Oh, screen filters, rewind, save states, different languages, different platforms.
Those newer Bubsies that were terrible?
No, it just has those games.
It just has the original Bubsies up to 3D?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
Which,
I'm sure all of 12 fans of Bubsy have never been more excited in their life.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's another Bubsy.
I mean,
thing,
oh yeah, well that was the one from Gamescom, right?
I forgot about that one.
I think that game looks like total butthole.
Because they don't
4D.
actually give a shit about Bubsy. They really don't.
Yeah. Well,
they want to. They want to somehow. They somehow think that Bubsy, whoever owns the rights for Bubsy, really thinks they can reinvigorate Bubsy.
Yeah. He's the Poochie of fucking mascots.
Yeah.
And like he never went back to his homeworld. Like
he was never the character that anybody that really talks about.
Yeah.
The same way, like he's not talked about the way belovedly like Crash Bandicoot.
Right.
Or even Croc, to be honest. Like he's Bubsy and nobody gives a shit about him.
He's extreme, he's a cat. Ow. Ow.
He looks so dumb. He's got a tie and everything.
He's got a tie and a blazer now. So great. Good job.
Everybody loves Bubsy. Now they can play all the Bubsy games.
Play all the Bubsy
one after another.
Looks terrible and I hate it. All right. Wow, we're making really good time this week. All right, let's wrap it up. October's PS Plus games got announced.
Oh, fun.
And there's some nice creepy stuff in there for October. So WWE 2K25 is in there.
That's terrifying.
Plus extra and premium Persona 5 Tactica, Green Hell, Fate/Samurai Remnant, but then Crow Country and the Invincible and Conscript are in there.
Oh, those are pretty good ones.
And then PlayStation Plus Premium is getting the Legacy of Kain Defiance backwards compatibility on it. So, yeah. I cannot recommend Crow Country enough to people. That game is amazing.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Amazing. It's so good. The story is so interesting and weird. Like, it does so many fun things, and it's got a lot of interesting, like, meta puzzles and stuff to it. I played it a second time, and then I played it a third time as a no-hit in order to get unlock everything. Because when I played it a second time, I think you get an outfit that's got like or you get a gun with unlimited ammo. And so if you skip all the dialogue and you know exactly how to solve the puzzles, you can kill that game in like 90 minutes. So I ran back through the entire game, and then when I did that, there's a super costume you get at the end that gives you like a fucking super laser gun and like the ability to bypass a lot of the puzzles. And so I played like half the game a third time. It is great. It is a great game, and I think everybody should play it. So
nice.
When it comes out, get on that. Get on it. One of our big leakers online, Dust Golem, has said that they're almost certainly going to be porting RE7 to the Switch 2.
I could see that.
Considering that RE7, I believe, was a PS4 game when it first came out.
Yes.
That should be possible. But the big thing here is, and then obviously not as a streaming game, because it was on the Switch as a stream game. It's like a remote play game. But the Switch 2 probably has enough power to be able to run RE7. I don't feel like it's too heavy of a lift.
Yeah, they could re-release pretty much every one of them on there without having to do the download anymore.
Yes.
So I think that would probably work in its favor. because the new versions of the Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 one, those were PS4 games originally as well.
Yep.
So you just have to port the original versions.
I'm pretty sure that even 4 Remake and 8 were on the PS4. I think they look better on the PS5, but they were on the PS4.
I could have sworn that the main remake was only on for Resident Evil 4 at least was only on PS5 because there was a remaster that was on PS4.
I actually from that let me check because that same leaker also said that they were pretty confident that Capcom's going to try.
Oh,
there it is.
Well, no, I think that's just Resident Evil 4 in general.
No, wait, this is Resident Evil. Yeah, where's the?
Wait, is this? Wait, now I'm confused.
2023.
Was it? Oh, I guess it was a PS4 game. Look at that.
PS4.
I'll be damned.
Who knows? PSVR 2, iOS, iPad.
I don't know why. For some reason I just assumed it was only a PS5 game.
That fucking RE engine like jams with RE games.
That's true. Yeah.
Like it may not be good for Dragon's Dogma, but like it jams for Resident Evil games. Like
I just realized I don't think I beat the remake.
Oh,
I have it, but I don't think I ever beat it.
I beat it twice, 2.5 times.
Because I beat the original one, the remaster, quote unquote, for the PS4.
Oh yeah, just like re-release, upsample, re-release.
I think I just stopped playing the remake for some reason. I think something else came out around the same time that I think I decided to took precedence. Maybe I'll just finish that again. I started over.
I played through it once. And then I realized I was missing like 4 of the things you need to make the infinite knife.
Oh, jeez.
And so I replayed New Game Plus, and I got the rest of them to get the infinity knife. And then I just finished it because I was playing with the infinity knife, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I can block everything except for Krauser.
Yeah.
Like, nobody in this game uses anything. And so then I went through. The one I didn't do is I never finished the Operation Ada. Yeah, I never finished that, so...
That makes sense. If you guys ever get a chance, please go to that one guy's YouTube channel who makes those like the character in X game or whatever.
Oh,
the Leslie
Eli
Nielsen and Resident Evil 4.
Oh yeah,
and then they did Borat and Resident Evil 4. Those are my two favorite Resident Evil ones. He did.
I think wasn't Borat in Village?
No, he was in. No, he's in 4.
Oh no, he is in 4
because of the boat sequence. They used that part in the boat sequence.
Yeah,
the Village one they did an Army. He did an Army of Darkness one, I think.
Oh, okay. And then the same leaker says that they're probably going to be remastering the rest, which if they get RE7 working, it's probably a pretty fast pipeline to get the rest of them.
That's the thing. The Switch 2 is like the ultimate, like we can re-release everything on this thing that the Switch couldn't do. Mm-hmm. And I think that's actually a really good idea.
Yep. We got a tease for Dead Island 3, and I couldn't be happier.
Good for them.
Yep.
We all assumed that thing was dead on arrival, and I don't mean Dead Island 2 is a bad game. I just felt like no one talked about it.
Oh, I couldn't shut up about it.
Yeah, you're the only one that I knew was doing that. But then I met somebody else who also was saying really good things about it eventually.
Yeah, it was great. It was funny because it all worked out the way they said with like the weird layer system to like get pieces of thing off. So yeah, Dan Buster put out a little promo image of a guy hitchhiking, and it says when there's no more room in LA. And so yeah, they're probably going to get started. The interesting thing though, Michael, is because of the development cycle on Dead Island 2, it was like 6 years or 7 years, I think. But when you go back and look at the development diaries, Dan Buster made that game in 2 years.
Yeah, they had
to start from scratch.
I wrote an entire article about the troubled development of Dead Island 2, and it was rough because that game got remade 3 times.
Yep.
Until eventually these guys got a hold of it and just were able to make a game from scratch and make a solid product.
I really liked it.
Like I was shocked because I after putting all of the development issues in like one timeline for that article, I was like, how in God's name is this thing going to work? Only to find out, no, it's one of these really fun games. And I'm glad that the Dead Island series isn't dead.
I think it's amazing because it was also Dan Buster's last chance because they put out Homefront 2, which is one of the most reviled games of all time.
Did not go well.
And the question was always, well, did the publisher shove that out before it was done, or is Dan Buster an inept studio? And Dead Island 2 was like, nope, that was the publisher's fault because Dead Island 2, they made that in 2 years and it rocked ass. So
if you guys ever get a chance, look up the original Dead Island 2 trailer. Yeah, it's still a fun ass trailer, even though it has nothing to do with what eventually came out.
Yeah. Let's see. Battlesuit Aces is getting has a release date of October 7th. This is a real small indie game from the company that made Battle Chef Brigade. They're very good at anime art. They are a little bit lighter on game mechanics. It's like an interstellar mech game plus visual novel.
Yeah.
But it's all a card game.
Yeah.
So you do the... I love the art style. I wish I could actually see the mechs do stuff and not just see pictures of mechs bump into other pictures of mechs.
Yeah, and even when it shoots like a laser, it just shows a laser going upwards.
Yeah.
That's a shame. But again, like visually, it looks really cool.
Very good 2D art. Just wish there was more animation.
Like, yeah, movement.
So October 7th, we're going to see that one. Let's see. And then I think before we get into the fun stuff, Genshin Impact is crossing over for its anniversary with Among Us.
That's fucking weird.
And that was really weird to me, Michael, until I realized what it was. It's that if you log in to this event, you get a skin for Among Us of the little
of the actual
fairy person. So it's not there aren't Among Us's in
Genshin.
It's more the other way around.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like you can play Among Us in Genshin. Also, this event is going on as of now. It was yesterday. That's what it says. That started.
Okay. This is when it started.
It mentions the end date there somewhere.
Set to air.
Yeah, there it is. From the September 10th to October 10th.
Okay, so you got a whole month.
So you got a while.
Yep.
But it's starting it started yesterday as of us recording this.
Yes.
So you guys got time.
Plenty of time. All right. Finish up with some fun stuff. First up, I had a hard time finding any video of this. It made me want to do it. So you know Uma Musume?
No.
The horse girl.
Oh, that. No,
thing?
I do know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out that one mad crazy person has been modding our favorite Uma Musume horse girls into Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh dear God.
The weird thing is that when you go to the mod site, we go to Nexus Mods for this, some of them are just like replacing NPCs with stuff, but then like some of them are there's only one that I found that was literally replacing one of the horses with one of the Uma Musume girls, and it's literally fucking John Marsden riding on the back of like a completely off model anime lady.
She's very detailed.
Yes.
Also, I noticed there's a mod for Max Payne.
Yes.
To be in the game, which I think is even funnier.
Yes.
But
these screenshots of John Marsden riding around on a big anime waifu looking horse girl are pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then there's like versions of her where she actually has a gun.
Yeah, there's also, they replaced the same character with some of the NPCs get replaced.
That's fucking incredible.
Which I'm like, well, the weirdest part is I could not find any video of this.
It's probably pretty new still. People probably haven't had a chance to really put it in.
Actually, Michael, it turns out that the first of these mods, the guy was doing them before the game even before the Uma Musume game came out.
Oh, before it came out in America.
Yeah.
Because I think it was already a thing over there.
But
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. Like...
it really is. If you guys see these, you'll understand why it's absolutely nuts. Because they're just right next to these like very detailed characters.
They look like blow-up dolls or something because you know they've got like shadows and stuff on them, but they're all flat. They're all like flat faces and stuff.
I think this is Red Dead 1 because I think that's Jack Marston.
Oh, could it be? Yeah, it could be.
It's so fucking weird.
Is that Dutch? Yeah, this is like replacing. I want to see these in action really badly.
Yeah, I do too.
I want to see these in action really badly.
I'm speechless. I can't. I want to say something, but I'm absolutely speechless. Yeah, that's definitely Jack. But yeah, fucking hell.
Yep.
Oh, what the
that's
fuck?
Red Dead. No, that's 2. Or it's at least a mod for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Maybe he added Jack into it then.
I don't know, possibly.
Because Marston doesn't have like a goatee like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. K-pop Demon Hunters is a video game, kinda.
Oh, okay. It's one of those like somebody animated type thing.
Yeah. So there's this YouTube channel that is called, what are they called? JHN Studio, that makes a whole thing of making K-pop into chiptune.
Oh, that's fun.
So they made a couple of K-pop Demon Hunters things where it's like they've got them on like a little fake handheld system as kind of like rhythm games, and if you could hear it, it's when the chiptune versions of them playing in the background.
It's like one of those things where you have to attack at the right time.
Yeah, where it's like tapping and stuff. It's not a big thing. This just got me thinking about like, man, somebody should really start developing a K-pop Demon Hunters game, because like, you got the music, you got the character designs, like...
Yeah, that thing took over pop culture so hard.
Yes.
Like, I'm really happy for them, because I remember the first time it came out, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah.
Because I knew people who love K-pop, but I was like, I don't know if the general audience will love it too.
Yep.
And then I was sorely mistaken, because holy shit.
Have you watched it?
I watched part of it because my girlfriend was watching it.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of it, and I'm like, this looks really fun. This is actually really fun.
Super fucking catchy songs.
Yeah, and the animation's really good because it's got that sort of Spider-Verse look.
Yep.
And
Same
it just
studio.
looks wonderful.
Yep. It's really good. So, yeah, go check out JHN Studio. And then last but not least, I don't know why this was the one I put at the end, but I don't know if you saw this, Michael. Someone in No Man's Sky, no less, painstakingly created the Dunder Mifflin building from The Office.
What the fuck?
Like out of... And not just the building. Like you go up and you go into the actual office, and it's like not perfect, but it's very recognizable the way that it's laid out. They've got the offices on one side,
offices, the desks,
and it's got the office, and it's got the annex, and it's got the fucking warehouse, and
that's incredible.
It's all like, it's not, it's all No Man's Sky.
It's what he could do,
right, but like it's still recognizable.
Yeah, like you can tell what exact room it is. Like he's in the break room right
the
here.
Kitchen, and the bathrooms, and the annex.
And then this is like the part where this is like the HR area, I think, if I remember correctly.
The annex.
And it's just, there's so much shit.
And the break room.
This is really cool.
A lot of work. So we put a lot of work into this one.
Yeah, usually, it's always interesting when somebody does it in Minecraft, but when somebody does it in a game that's not designed for it, makes it so much more interesting to me.
Yeah,
because you see, like when you remember when they made the Waffle House in Halo.
Oh yeah,
like I love seeing that. Like when people are like, I'm going to recreate something that should not be in this sort of idea.
Yeah,
and I think it's so much fun.
And that's okay, Mr. Peace 9363 on Reddit. So yeah,
I know there's the Office spinoff or whatever the fuck it is.
The paper
started. Yeah,
I watched a little bit. I watched a little bit of it. I maybe finish one episode, but I was always like the Office is fine. I came to love The Office eventually, but I'm nowhere near as into it as a lot of people are. So
yeah, same.
And that's on the podcast. So what do we say? 614, 613, 614?
This is 614. No, wait, no, this is 613.
613?
Because 612, I think, was the last one.
Yeah, that's it. So thanks, everybody, for listening. Michael, where can the people find you when you're not over here helping me with the podcast?
You can sometimes find me on oneofus.net. We do a lot of movie television reviews. You can also find me on Supermaniacs. It's a Superman podcast I do sometimes. The last one we did is just wild speculation about Man of Tomorrow. One of them turned out to maybe be true.
Oh.
Because Gunn did a Howard Stern thing right after and said one of the things that we exactly said. Oh. And I was like,
well, there you go.
Psychic.
Yeah. And hey, if you need, or if you've got some bucks to spare, patreon.com/RageSelect is how we fund this thing. Hopefully you didn't turn it off before this part because, the podcast is kind of part of the whole kit and caboodle. So if you enjoy 2+ hours every week of gaming news, help us out. $5 a month is all it takes, even though you can totally give more if you'd like. And with that, we're done. Oh, my God, I'm so tired. I don't even remember. I don't even remember what I got to do. My shoulder has been on fire this entire time, so I think I'm just going to go, lay down. I'm just going to go lay down somewhere. Actually, you know what? I say that every week. I think that's just going to be my new thing. I'm going to say, hey, everybody, at the beginning. Then at the end, I'm just going to be like, I'm going to go lay down. I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye!